150 to 200 million years ago when these strata were laid down. Triassic-Jurassic extinction event. A mass extinction between the Triassic and Jurassic periods 201.3 million years ago. Triathlon. Misspelling of triathlon. Triathlete. An athlete who competes in the triathlon. Triathletes. Plural of triathlete. Triathlon. An athletics event in which contestants compete in swimming, cycling, and running in turn. Triathlons. Plural of triathlon. Triad. A triadic stay. Triac stay. A stay connecting the mastheads of a multi-masted rig such as a schooner or ketch. Triadic stays. Plural of triadic stay. Triadics. Plural of triadic. Triatoma. Any member of the genus Triatoma of assassin bugs. Triatomas. Plural of triatoma. Triatome. Any insect of the genus Triatoma, many of which are vectors for trypanosomes. Triatomes. Plural of triatome. Triatomic. Consisting of 3 atoms. Triatomicity. The quality of being triatomic. Triatomid. Any assassin bug of the subfamily Triatomini. Triatomids. Plural of triatomid. Triatomi. Any of many blood-sucking insects, kissing bugs, etc. of the subfamily Triatomini. Triatomines. Plural of triatomine. Triatio. Having or involving 3 atia. Triamentive. Having a square pyramid attached to each of 3 equatorial faces. Pteroe. Having 3 reproductive duct systems, 1 for the deposit of sperm, 1 for receiving sperm, and 1 for depositing eggs. Triaxial. Having 3 axes. Triaxialities. Plural of triaxiality. Triaxiality. The condition of being triaxial. Triaxially. In a triaxial manner. Triaxle. A vehicle with 3 driving axles. Triaxles. Plural of triaxle. Triaxon. A triaxonal spicule of a sponge. Triaxonal. Having 3 axes. Triaxonic. Relating to a triaxon. Triaxons. Plural of triaxon. Teza. 3 nitrogen atoms in a molecule. Triazabicyclo. Used attributively to describe a compound having 3 nitrogen atoms in 2 rings. Triazacyclonane. A saturated heterocycle that has 6 carbon atoms and 3 nitrogen atoms, but especially 1,4,7 triazacyclonane. Triazacyclonanes. Plural of triazacyclonane. Triazamacrocycle. Any macrocycle that contains 3 nitrogen atoms. Triazanaphthalene. Any of several isomeric, bicyclic aromatic heterocycles derived from naphthalene by replacing 3 carbon atoms or CH residues with nitrogen atoms. Triazanaphthalines. Plural of triazanaphthalene. Triazane. The nitrogen compound NH2NHNH2 or any of its hydrocarbyl derivatives. Triazanes. Plural of triazane. Triazatriangulanium. A carbenium and derived from triangulanium by replacing 3 CH2 groups by NR. Triazavirin. The broad-spectrum antiviral drug 2-methylsulfonyl 6-nitro-1,2,4-triazyl 5,1-C-1,2,4-triazine 7,4-H1. Triazbutyl. A particular fungicide. Triazine. The nitrogen compound NH2N equals NH or any of its hydrocarbyl derivatives. Triazenes, plural of triazine. Triazepine, a 7-membered unsaturated heterocycle having 3 nitrogen atoms and 3 double bonds, any derivative of this compound. Triazepines, plural of triazepine. Triazi, any compound containing 3 azide groups. Triazides, plural of triazi. Triazidotrinnitrobenzene, the explosive 2-nitrobenzene. Triazine, archaic form of triazine. Triazinane, the 6-membered aromatic heterocycle containing 3 carbon atoms and 3 nitrogen atoms, any derivative of this compound. Triazinanes, plural of triazinane. Triazine, any of 3 isomeric aromatic heterocycles containing 3 carbon atoms, 3 nitrogen atoms, and 3 double bonds. Triazine-diene, any of several isomeric compounds formerly derived from a triazine by replacing 2 methylene groups with carbonyls. Triazinediones, plural of triazine-diene. Triazenes, plural of triazine. Triazinon, a derivative of a triazinane that has a carbonyl group in the ring. Triazinones, plural of triazinon. Triazines, plural of triazine. Triaziquone, a particular alkylating drug used in chemotherapy. Triazole, synonym of azido. Triazole, alternative form of triazole. Triazole, a benzodiazepine CHCl2N4 used as a sleep-inducing agent in the short-term treatment of insomnia. Triazolite, any complex of a metal and a triazole. Triazolates, plural of triazolate. Triazole, either of 2 isomeric heterocyclic compounds having a 5-membered ring with 3 nitrogen atoms and 2 double bonds in the ring, any organic derivative of these compounds. Triazoles, plural of triazole. Triazolic, relating to or composed of triazoles. Triazoli, any compound having a triazole as a substituent. Triazolides, plural of triazoli. Triazolane, an unsaturated 5-membered heterocycle having 2 carbon atoms, 3 nitrogen atoms, and 1 double bond between 2 of the nitrogen atoms, any derivative of this compound. Triazolines, plural of triazolene. Triazolinone, a 5-membered unsaturated heterocyclic ketone having 3 nitrogen atoms, 1 double bond, and a carbonyl group. Triazolinones, plural of triazolinone. Triazolium, a cation produced by protonation of a triazole. Triazoliums, plural of triazolium. Triazolo, a triazole moiety as a substituent. Triazoliguanine, atazaguanine. Triazolone, a heterocyclic ketone containing 3 nitrogen atoms, 1 double bond, and a carbonyl group. Triazolones, plural of triazolone. Triazolopiperazine, any heterocycle containing a piperazine ring fused with one of triazole, any drug based on such a structure. Triazolopiperazines, plural of triazolopiperazine. Triazolopyrazine, a bicyclic heterocycle composed of a triazole ring fused to one of pyrazine. Triazolopyrazines, plural of triazolopyrazine. Triazolopyridine, any heterocycle containing a pyrimidine ring fused with one of triazole, any antidepressant based on such a structure. Triazolapyridines, plural of triazolapyridine. Triazolapyrimidine, any heterocycle containing a pyrimidine ring fused with one of triazole, any drug based on such a structure. Triazolapyrimidines, plural of triazolapyrimidine. Triazolaquinoxaline, any heterocycle composed of a triazole and a quinoxaline fused together. Triazolaquinoxalines, plural of triazolaquinoxaline. Triazolose, plural of triazolo. Triazolviazine, a bicyclic heterocycle composed of a triazole fused to a thiazine. Triazolotriazine, any triazolotriazine, some of which show antidiabetic activity. Triazolitriazines, plural of triazolotриazine. Triazoles, plural of triazole. Triazole, any radical derived from a triazole. Triazoles, plural of triazole. Triazophos, a particular insecticide. Triazos, plural of triazo. Triazoxide, a particular fungicide. Any newspaper called the Tribune. Abbreviation of tributary. Tribe, a woman who engages in sexual activity with another woman, a lesbian. Tribes, plural of tribe. Tribatic, relating to tribadism. Tribades, plural of tribady. Tribadism, lesbianism. Tridatus, a participant in the sexual practice of tribadism. Tribadus, plural of tribadus. Tribady, lesbianism, tribadism. Tribal, of or relating to tribes. Tribal chief, the chief of a tribe. Tribal chiefs, plural of tribal chief. Tribal histories, plural of tribal history. Tribal history. Phylogeny. Tribal tattoo, a monocolor sleeve tattoo with a geometric design, supposedly similar to the tattoos of various indeterminate native peoples. Tribal tattoos, plural of tribal tattoo. Tribales, suggesting something tribal and primitive. Tribalize, alternative form of tribalize. Tribalize, simple past and past participle of tribalize. Tribalizes, third person singular simple present indicative of tribalize. Tribalizing, present participle and gerund of tribalize. Tribalism, the condition of being tribal. Tribalisms, plural of tribalism. Tribalist, a person who identifies with or has loyalty to a tribe or similar group. Tribalistic, pertaining to tribalism. Tribalistically, in a tribalistic manner. Tribalists, plural of tribalists. Tribalities, plural of tribality. Tribality, the quality of being tribal. Tribalization, process of tribalizing. Tribalize, to make tribal. Tribalize, simple past and past participle of tribalize. Tribalizes, third person singular simple present indicative of tribalize. Tribalizing, present participle and gerund of tribalize. Tribally, in a tribal manner or context. Tribals, plural of tribal. Triband, supporting 3 frequency bands. Tribar, a flag consisting of 3 stripes. Tribarium. 3 atoms of barium in a chemical compound. Tribard. Having 3 bars or stripes. Tribars. Plural of tribar. Tribasal. Having 3 basal cartilages. Tribasic. Containing 3 replaceable hydrogen atoms. Tribasicity. The quality of being basic. Tribasilar. Having or relating to 3 bases. Tribovirin. Synonym of ribovirin. Trib. Simple past and past participle of trib. Troder. A woman who engages in tribbing. Tridders. Plural of tribber. Trevet. A surname. Trebets. Plural of trivet. Treve. Vulva vulva sexual intercourse with legs intertwined. Shrivel. A surname. Triddles. Plural of tribble. Trebu. A surname. Trevis. Plural of tribi. Tri. A surname. Tribeca. Alternative spelling of Tribeca. Tribeca. A region of Lower West Manhattan, New York City, New York, United States. The triangle below Canal Street. Tribeken. Of or pertaining to the Tribeca region in Manhattan, USA. Trikens. Plural of triken. Tribe. Simple past and past participle of tri. Tribe. The state or condition of being a tribe. Tripods. Plural of tribud. Tribeless. Without a tribe. Tribelessness. Absence of tribe. Tribes. Tribalist. A small tribe of Native Americans, especially a small independent group of Native California people who shared a language and usually comprised one principal village or several in close proximity, plus smaller resource gathering camps and territories. Tribelets. Plural of tribelet. Tribalite. Resembling or characteristic of a tribe. Tribemate. A member of the same tribe. Tribemates. Plural of tribemate. Tribendilol. A beta-adrenergic blocking drug. Tribendamidine. A broad-spectrum anthelmintic agent derived from amidantal. Tribe. A town in Hooghly district in West Bengal where the river Bhagirathi Hooghly, one of the 2 main distributaries of the Ganges, splits into 3 more distributaries. It is of great significance to Hindus. Tribemicide. A vasoprotective drug. Trimerin. A particular herbicide. Tridme. Alternative form of tridme. Tribendut. Any compound that has 3 benzoate groups or anions. Tridenduts. Plural of tridenzote. Tribes. Plural of tribe. Tridesfolk. Synonym of tridespeople. Tridesfolks. Synonym of tribespeople. Tribeship. The state of being a tribe or belonging to a tribe. Trichips. Plural of trideship. Tridesman. A usually male member of a tribe. Tridesmanship. The role or status of a tribesman. Tridesmen. Plural of tribesmen. Tridespeople. The people who belong to a tribe. Tridespeoples. Plural of tribespeople. Tribesperson, a tribesman or tribeswoman, a member of a tribe. Tribespersons, plural of tribesperson. Tribeswoman, a female member of a tribe. Tribeswomen, plural of tribeswoman. Tribecoi, plural of tribecos. Tribecos, an early distillation apparatus having 3 beaks to collect the distillate. Tribimaximal describes a combination of the trimaximal and bimaximal methods. Tribing, present participle and gerund of tri. Tribismuth, 3 bismuth atoms or cations in a molecule by. Tribisond, former name of Trabzon. Tribund, a blend of 3 materials, especially cotton, polyester, and rayon. Triblet, a tapering cylinder used in metalcraft, usually made of steel, used to expand or measure a ring or hole in another piece of metal up to a desired size. Tredlets, plural of triblet. Tribly, a surname. Triblock, a block copolymer that has 3 distinct blocks. Triblocks, plural of triblock. Tribo, friction. Tribochemical, relating to lubrication by chemical means. Tribochemically, in a tribochemical manner. Tribochemistry, the study of chemical reactions and friction. Tribocorrosion, corrosion caused by or made worse by wear between surfaces. Tribohopple, a pair of materials that are in contact and experience relative motion. Tribocouples, plural of tribocouple. Tribodont, of teeth blunt and rounded used for crushing. Triboelectric, electrical charge transfer due to sliding or contact. Triboelectric effect, the generation of static electricity by friction between different materials. Triboelectric effects, plural of triboelectric effect. Triboelectric series, a list of materials showing which are more or less prone to acquire a positive or negative electric charge when rubbed. Triboelectrically, by means of the triboelectric effect. Triboelectricity, charge transfer due to sliding or contact. Triboelectrification, electrification, formation of electrical charge caused by friction. Tribofilm, a thin film that forms on a tribologically stressed surface. Tribofilms, plural of tribofilm. Tribol, a particular steroid glycoside. Tribal layer, a tribological layer of lubricant between moving surfaces. Tribal layers, plural of tribal layer. Tribologic, synonym of tribological. Tribological, of or pertaining to tribology. Tribologically, with regard to tribology. Tribologist, a specialist in tribology. Tribologists, plural of tribologists. Tribology, the science and engineering of interacting surfaces in relative motion, the study and application of technology using the principles of friction, lubrication, and wear. Triboluminescence, the production of light by friction. Triboluminescent, exhibiting or relating to triboluminescence. Tribomechanical, of or pertaining to the tribological and mechanical properties of a system. Tribometer, a device that measures the coefficient of friction of a surface. Tribometers, plural of tribometer. Tribometric, of or pertaining to tribometry. Tribometry. The measurement of friction on a surface as carried out with a tribometer. Fibonacci. A variant of the Fibonacci sequence in which the preceding three terms, rather than the preceding two, are summed at each iteration. Tribonucleation. Nucleation typically if gas bubbles caused by friction. Tribo. A multi-breast having exactly three breasts. Tribobes. Plural of tribu. Tribo. A variable that behaves similar to a Boolean but allows three values instead of two. Tribules. Plural of tribule. Tribophysical. Of or relating to tribophysics. Tribophysics. The physics of friction. Tribopolymer. A polymer formed by a tribochemical reaction. Tribopolymerization. The formation of tribopolymers by surface rubbing. Tribopolymerizations. Plural of tribopolymerization. Tribopolymers. Plural of tribopolymer. Triborate. Any borate having three boron atoms. Triborates. Plural of triborate. Triboreaction. A reaction initiated by surface friction. Triboreaction. Plural of triboreaction. Triborough. Of or relating to three boroughs. Triboson. Any particle composed of three bosons. Tribosons. Plural of triboson. Tribospenic. Describing the original placental molars that have a talonid in the lower molar teeth where the protocone of the upper teeth hits. Defined by George Gaylord Simpson in 1936. Tribosphenodon. Any mammal of the clade Tribosphenida. Tribosphenodons. Plural of Tribosphenodon. Tribosystem. Any system of tribological components such as bearings. Tribosystems. Plural of tribosystem. Tribotis. A physical test of friction, lubrication, and wear. Tribotisted. Simple past and past participle of tribotis. Tribotisting. Present participle and gerund of tribotis. Tribotes. Plural of tribotes. Tribother. One of a group of extinct tribosenic marsupial-like thurians. Tribothers. Plural of tribother. Tribotronic. Of or relating to tribotronics. Tribotronics. The study of the interaction between triboelectricity and semiconductors. Tribulate. A jester dressed entirely in red. Tribulettes. Plural of tribulate. Tribrac. Obsolete form of tribrac. Tribrac. A metrical foot consisting of three short syllables. Tribrachy. Plural of tribrachus. Tribrachic. Composed of three short or unstressed syllables. Tribrax. Plural of tribrac. Tribrachus. Alternative form of tribrac. Tribrachys. Alternative form of tribrac. Tribrax. Plural of tribrac. Tribactate. Having three bracts. Tribra. An organism, object, or method comprising three disparate individual components. Tribrid modeler. A CAD system that is capable of modeling three-dimensional objects as combinations of surfaces, solids, and polygons. Tribrid modelers. Plural of tribrid modeler. Tribrid vehicle. A vehicle that can use three different types of fuel or has three different means of propulsion. Tribrid vehicles. Plural of tribrid vehicle. Tribute. Having 3 bridges across a ring. Tribris. Plural of tribrid. Tribrimhydrin. The halogenated hydrocarbon 1,2,3-tribrimopropane. Allyl-tribromide. Tribromide. Any bromide containing 3 bromine atoms in each molecule. Tribromides. Plural of tribromide. Tribromination. The introduction of 3 bromine atoms into a molecule. Tribromo. In combination 3 bromine atoms in a molecule. Tribromosate. DNA and CBr3CO- derived from tribromosaic acid, any salt or ester of this acid. Tribromosatates. Plural of tribromosatate. Tribromonosol. A brominated derivative of anisole, one of the chemicals responsible for cork taint. Tribromethanol. A brominated alcohol formerly used as an anesthetic in humans and now mainly used in laboratory animals. Tribromontecrasol. An antifungal drug, 2,4,6-tribromo-3-methylphenol. Tribromomethane. Rhomoform. Tribromomethyle. The tribromo derivative of the methyl group CBr. Tribromophenol. A substance with chemical formula C6H3-aber3, prepared by the reaction of carbolic acid with bromine. Tribromophenol. Alternative form of tribromophenol. Third person singular simple present indicative of trib. Tribs. Plural of trib. Tribule. Of or relating to a tribe, tribal. Tribuli. Tribally. Tribufos. An organophosphorus pesticide, 1-bis-butyl-sulfonyl-phosphorylsulfonylbutane. Tribular. Tribule. Tribulate. To trouble greatly, to afflict with tribulation. Tribulated. Simple past and past participle of tribulate. Tribulates. Third person singular simple present indicative of tribulate. Tribulating. Present participle and gerund of tribulate. Tribulation. A period of persecution before the second coming, lasting 7 years, which Christians will experience worldwide, which will purify and strengthen them. Tribulations. Plural of tribulation. Tribulin. Synonym of isotin. Tribuloi. Resembling the fruit of tribulus, beset with sharp bristles, echinate. Tribulosiponin. A particular steroid glycoside. Tribulostin. A particular steroid glycoside. Tribulosis. A form of photodermatitis in sheep caused by eating the plant Tribulus terrestris. Tribunal. An assembly including 1 or more judges to conduct judicial business. A court of law. Tribunals. Plural of tribunal. Tribunary. Of or pertaining to tribunes, especially the Roman tribune. Tribune. The state or office of a tribune. Tribunates. Plural of tribunate. Tribune. A small city, the county seat of Greeley County, Kansas, United States. Tribune of the plebs. The first office of the Roman state that was open to the plebeians, with the power to convene and preside over the concilium plebis people's assembly, to summon the Senate, to propose legislation, to intervene on behalf of plebeians in legal matters and to veto the actions of the consuls and other magistrates. Tribunes. Plural of tribune. Tribuneship. The office of tribune. Tribuneships. Plural of tribuneship. Tribunitial, alternative form of tribunician. Tribunician, pertaining to a Roman tribune. Tribunite, a democratic socialist associated with the Tribune newspaper. Tribunites, plural of tribunite. Tribunitial, tribunician, relating to a tribune. Tribunician, tribunician, relating to a tribune. Tribuniciary, tribunician, relating to a tribune. Tribunitius, tribunician. Tribunitive, tribunician, relating to a tribune. Trevis, synonym of tribe. Tribuses, plural of tribus. Tributable, liable to pay tribute. Tributaries, plural of tributary. Tributarily, in a tributary manner. Tributariness, the quality or state of being tributary. Tributary, a natural water stream that flows into a larger river or other body of water. Tributary load, the accumulation of loads that are directed toward a particular structural member. Tributary loads, plural of tributary load. Tributary state, a state that is subject to another and has to pay regular tribute to the latter as a token of submission. Tributary states, plural of tributary state. Tributaryless, without tributaries. Tribute, an acknowledgement of gratitude, respect, or admiration, an accompanying gift. Tribute act, tribute band. Tribute band, a group of musicians and singers which exists solely to play the music of a well-known band that has disbanded or no longer tours. Tribute bands, plural of tribute band. Tribute, money, money which is paid as a tax or a tribute. Tribute monies, plural of tribute money. Tribute wall, a notice board dedicated to acknowledgement, homage, and remembrance of someone. Tribute walls, plural of tribute wall. Tributive, simple past and past participle of tribute. Tributor, a miner who is paid in a certain portion of the ore or its value. Tributors, plural of tributor. Tributes, plural of tribute. Tributing, present participle and gerund of tribute. Tributor, a miner who was paid a percentage of the value of whatever ore he mined. Tributors, plural of tributor. Tributile, three butyl groups in a compound. Tributyl phosphate, the tributyl ester of phosphoric acid. Tributylamine, an organic compound with molecular formula CHN used as an intermediate in the manufacture of other chemical compounds and as a solvent and catalyst in organic synthesis and polymerization. Tributylin, the triglyceride of butyric acid. Tributylphosphate, alternative form of tributyl phosphate. Tributylphosphine, a tertiary phosphine most commonly encountered as a ligand in transition metal complexes with some industrial applications. Tributylstenyl, the unit radical CHCHSN derived from tributylsin. Tributyltin, the organic derivative of stannine tributylstenine. Tributyltins, plural of tributyltin. Tributylvinylstenane, synonym of tributylvinyltin. Tributylvinyltin, an organotin compound with the molecular formula CHSN. Tributyrate, any compound that has three butyrate groups. Tributyrates, plural of tributyrate. Tributyrin, the triglyceride of butyric acid, butyrin. Tribuzome, a particular non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug. Tricha, an epithecium in certain lichens having a spherical surface marked with spiral or concentric ridges and furrows. Trichaedecophobia, misspelling of triskaidekaphobia. Triche, plural of tricha. Triethyl, having 3 caffeil radicals. Triche, the ethyl ester of aminobenzoic acid. Its methane sulfonate is used as anesthetic for fish. Tricolbin, any of a group of membrane-bound proteins present in yeasts. Tricolbins, plural of tricolbin. Tricalcic, containing 3 atoms of calcium, tricalcium attributive. Tricalcium, 3 atoms of calcium in a chemical compound. Tricab, a type of protection device used in climbing that provides a means of placing temporary anchor points on the rock. Tricamera, involving 3 cameras. Tricameral, having 3 legislative chambers. Tricameralism, the practice of having 3 legislative or parliamentary chambers. Tricameras, having 3 chambers or loculi. Tricanes, plural of tricam. Tricane, misspelling of tricane. Tricat, having 9 atoms, groups of atoms, or ligands arranged around a central atom, defining the vertices of a triaugmented triangular prism. Tricoperin, the triglyceride of capric acid. Tricoproi, the triglyceride derived from caproic acid. Tricoprilin, the triglyceride of caprylic acid. Tricapsular, having 3 capsules. Tricar, 3-wheeler, motor vehicle with 3 wheels. Tricarbolylate, any salt or ester of tricarbolylic acid. Tricarbolylates, plural of tricarbolylate. Tricarbolylic acid. Propane 1,2,3-tricarboxylic acid, a tricarboxylic acid that inhibits aconitase. Tricarbide, any carbide containing 3 carbon atoms per molecule. Tricarbides, plural of tricarbide. Tricarbamide, cyanuric acid in a solid state. Tricarbamides, plural of tricarbamide. Tricardocyan, any other group of sentences in which 2 heterozygotes are connected by A equals each minus each equals each minus each equals each minus each equals each minus bridge of the central of the carbon atoms being part of a circle pendiating. Tricardocyans, plural of tricarbocyan. Tricarbon, 3 carbon atoms in a molecule. Tricarbon dioxide, a linear oxycarbon having 3 carbon atoms. Tricarbonate, any compound containing 3 carbonate groups in each molecule or unit cell. Tricarbonates, plural of tricarbonate. Tricarbons, plural of tricarbon. Tricarbonyl, any metal compound in which the metal is attached to 3 carbonyl groups. Tricarbonyls, plural of tricarbonyl. Tricarboxamide, any compound that has 3 carboxamide groups. Tricarboxamides, plural of tricarboxamide. Tricarboxylate, any salt or ester of a tricarboxylic acid. Tricarboxylates, plural of tricarboxylate. Tricarboxylic, having 3 carboxylic groups. Tricarboxylic acid, an organic carboxylic acid whose chemical structure contains 3 carboxyl functional groups, the best known example being citric acid. Tricarboxylic acid cycle. The Krebs cycle. Tricarboxylic acids, plural of tricarboxylic acid. Tricarico, a surname from Italian. Tricaricose, plural of tricarico. Tricarinate, having 3 carinae. Tricarinated. Alternative form of tricarinate. Tricarpellary, having 3 carpels. Tricarpellate, having 3 carpels. Tricarpus, having 3 carpels. Tricars, plural of tricar. Tricasts, a specific kind of horse race betting made by choosing the first 3 horses home in the correct order. Tricasts, plural of tricasts. Tricategorical, of or pertaining to a tricategory. Tricategories, plural of tricategory. Tricategory, a higher dimensional form of category. Trication, any cation of general formula X3 formed by the removal of 3 electrons from a neutral species. Trications, plural of trication. Tricotyle, having 3 tails. Tricadate, having 3 tail-like processes. Tricabalaka, a Neapolitan percussion instrument. Tricabalakas, plural of tricabalaca. Tries, a surname. Tries up, to hoist up using a rope. Tries, simple past and past participle of trice. Triced up, simple past and past participle of trice up. Tricellular, having 3 cells. Trisolulin, a transmembrane protein found in tight junctions. Trisolulins, plural of trisolulin. Tricenarian, the highest rank and pay grade for prefectures in ancient Rome. Tricenarians, plural of tricenarian. Tricenaries, plural of tricenary. Tricenary, of or related to the number 30. Tricenal, synonym of Trental, set of 30 requiem masses, the payment for such services. Tricenalia, alternative letter case form of tricenalia. Tricenalias, plural of tricenalia. Tricenals, plural of tricenal. Tricenia, plural of tricenium. Tricennial, of, related to, lasting, or occurring once every 30 years. Tricennium, a period of 30 years. Tricenniums, plural of tricennium. Tricentenarian, one who with that which is between 300 and 399 years old. Tricentenarians, plural of tricentenarian. Tricentenaries, plural of tricentenary. Tricentenary, tercentenary. Tricentennial, the 300th anniversary of an event or happening. Tricentennials, plural of tricentennial. Tricentral, having or involving 3 centers. Tricentric, based on 3 centers. Triceps, a triceps. Tricephalic, having 3 heads. Tricephalus, having 3 heads. Triceps, any muscle having 3 heads. Triceps brachii, the triceps in the upper arm. Triceps suri, the combination of the gastrocnemius and soleus muscles. Tricepses, plural of triceps. Triceratops, Common name of the extinct genus Triceratops, herbivorous ceratopsids from the late Cretaceous. Triceratopses, plural of Triceratops. Triceria, plural of Tricerian. Triceria, a candlestick with 3 lights, signifying the Trinity. Tricerians, plural of Tricerian. Triceria, 3 atoms of cerium in a chemical compound. Trices, plural of trice. Trices up, 3rd person singular simple present indicative of trice up. Tricissimation, a 1/30th tax introduced in the Duchy of Württemberg in 1691. Tricesimo secundo, alternative form of trigésimo secundo. Tricesimo secundos, plural of tricesimo secundo. Trichome of marijuana. Trichang, a molecule with 3 attached chains. Trichalcogenide, any compound that contains 3 chalcogenide ions. Trichalcogenides, plural of trichalcogenide. Trichoxis, hypertrichosis. A surname. Trichiche, any manatee in the family Trichichidae. Trichichids, plural of trichichid. Trichiching, of or pertaining to a manatee. Treacheries, plural of treachery. Treachery. Cheating, trickery. Treaches, plural of trich. Tegases, plural of tegases. Tegazes, ingrown eyelash. Today, relating to tegases. Trichies, plural of trichy. Trichivorous, producing or bearing hairs. Trichiform. Bristle-shaped. Trichimal, relating to the outer root sheath of a hair follicle. Trichomoma, a cutaneous condition, a benign neoplasm that differentiates towards cells of the outer root sheath. Trichomoma. Plural of trichomoma. Trichiliacosm, a concept in cosmology of a third-order universe containing 1,000 second-order clusters, which are made of 1,000 first-order clusters, which are in turn made of 1,000 worlds each. Billion-fold universe. Trichiliacosms, plural of trichiliacosm. Trichimella, an acorn-shaped free-swimming larva of sponges of the order Hexactinellida. Trichia, any of several parasitic roundworms of the genus Trichinella that infect the intestines and cause trichinosis. Trichii, plural of trichina. Trichinal, of or relating to a trichina. Trichinas, plural of trichina. Tritiella, any of the genus Trichinella of parasitic roundworms. Trichiellas, plural of Trichinella. Trichinolaces, trichinosis. Trichinellid, any member of the family Trichinellidae, roundworms that cause trichinosis. Trichinellids, plural of trichinellid. Trichinelloses, plural of trichinelosis. Trichinelosis. Trichinosis. Trichinesis, plural of trichiniases. Trichinases. Trichinosis. Trichinization, alternative form of trichinization. Trichinization, infection with trichinosis. Trichinize, to render trichinous, to affect with trichiny. Trichinize, simple past and past participle of trichinize. Trichinizes. Third person singular simple present indicative of trichinize. Trichinizing. Present participle and gerund of trichinize. Trichinophobia. A morbid fear of trichinosis. Trichinopoly. Dated form of pterochiropally. Trichinoscope. An apparatus for the detection of trichini or trichinella in the flesh of animals. Trichinoscopes. Plural of trichinoscope. Trichinose. Trichinus. Trichinoses. Plural of trichinosis. Trichinosis. A disease characterized by headache, chills, fever, and soreness of muscles, caused by the presence of nematodes of genus Trichinella in the intestines and muscular tissues. Trichinotic. Relating to trichinosis. Trichinus. Relating to or affected with trichini or trichinosis. Tria. The point where the hairline meets the center of the forehead. Tritians. Plural of trition. Tricherubi. Any of a group of liminoids present in Trichilia rubescens. Tricherubines. Plural of tricherubi. Trichi. A kind of crystallite resembling a bunch of hairs, common in obsidian. Trichites. Plural of trichite. Trichide. Of or relating to a trichite. Trichiuri. Any member of the Trichiuridae, a cutlassish. Trichiurids. Plural of trichiurid. Trichiuriform. Like or pertaining to the genus Trichiurus or family Trichiuridae, comprising the scabbardfishes and hairtails. Trichiuroi. Of, like, or pertaining to Trichiurus. Trichomai. A particular fungicide. Trichor. Trichloroethylene. Trichloracetic. Alternative form of trichloroacetic. Trichloramine. Nitrogen trichlorid NCl. Trichloramines. Plural of trichloramine. Trichloroethylene. Alternative form of trichloroethylene. Trichlorethylenes. Plural of trichloroethylene. Trichlorophen. Metrophone. Trichlorohydrin. The halogenated hydrocarbon 1,2,3-trichloropropane, allyl trichloride. Trichloride. Archaic form of trichloride. Trichloride. Any chloride containing 3 chlorine atoms in each molecule. Trichlorides. Plural of trichloride. Trichlorids. Plural of trichlorid. Trichlorinated. Chlorinated with 3 atoms of chlorine. Trichloromethiazide. A thiazide, 6-chloro, 3-dichloromethyl 1,1-dioxo, 3,4-dihydro-2H-benzo-E1,2,4-thiadiazine, 7-sulfonamide, that encourages water loss from the body. Trichloromethine. The nitrogen mustard tris-2-chloroethylamine. Trichlora. 3 chlorine atoms in a molecule. Trichloroacetaldehyde. Chloral. Trichloroacetate. Any salt or ester of trichloroacetic acid. Trichloroacetates. Plural of trichloroacetate. Trichloroacetic. Of or pertaining to trichloroacetic acid or its derivatives. Trichloroacetic acid. The chlorinated derivative of acetic acid CCl3 used as a herbicide and topical antiseptic. Trichloroacetonitril. The nitrile of trichloroacetic acid CCl3CN. Trichloroacetyl. The univalent radical CCl3CO derived from trichloroacetic acid. Trichloroacetyls. Plural of trichloroacetyl. Trichloroanisole, a chlorinated derivative of anisole responsible for cork taint in wines. Trichloroanisoles, plural of trichloroanisole. Trichlorobenzene, any of three isomeric chlorinated derivatives of benzene C6H3Cl3 that have a number of industrial uses. Trichlorobenzenes, plural of trichlorobenzene. Trichlorobiphenyl, either of 24 isomers of the polychlorinated biphenyl containing 3 chlorine atoms. Trichlorobiphenyls, plural of trichlorobiphenyl. Trichlorodiphenyls, misspelling of trichlorobiphenyls. Trichloroethane, either of 2 isomeric halogenated heterocycles of CH3CCl3 or CH2ClCHCl2 that are used in several industrial applications, especially as solvents. Trichloroethanes, plural of trichloroethane. Trichloroethanol, any trichloro derivative of ethanol, but especially 2,2,2-trichloroethanol. Trichloroethanols, plural of trichloroethanol. Trichloroethene, synonym of trichloroethylene. Trichloroethanes, plural of trichloroethene. Trichloroethylene, the unsaturated phonated heterocarbon CCl equals CCl used as an industrial solvent and formulated as an anesthetic. Trichloroethylenes, plural of trichloroethylene. Trichlorofluoromethane, a chlorofluorocarbon, CFCl3, formerly used as a refrigerant but retired because of harmful effects on the ozone layer. Trichloroisocyanuric, of or pertaining to trichloroisocyanuric acid. Trichloroisocyanuric acid, a white crystalline powder with a chlorine-like odor used as a disinfectant and a reagent in organic synthesis. Trichloromethane, chloroform. Trichloromethanes, plural of trichloromethane. Trichloromethiazide, a sulfonamide drug with the complex structure used to counter edema associated with heart failure. Trichloromethyl, the univalent radical CCl obtained by substitution of every hydrogen in methyl with chlorine atoms. Trichloromethylsilane, synonym of methyl trichlorosilane. Trichloromonofluoromethane, trichlorofluoromethane. Trichloromonofluoromethanes, plural of trichloromonofluoromethane. Trichloronitromethane, chloropicrin. Trichlorophenol, any of several isomeric chlorinated derivatives of phenyl C6H2Cl3OH that are used as fungicides and bactericides. Trichlorophenols, plural of trichlorophenol. Trichlorophenylmethylialdesalicyl, a compound formerly used in antiseptics. Trichloropropane, any of many isomeric trichlor derivatives of propane. Trichloropropanes, plural of trichloropropane. Trichlorosilane, the compound CHCl3 which is the silicon analog of chloroform. Trichlorosilol, the radical or chemical group containing 3 chlorine atoms and 1 silicon atom, Cl3C. Trichlorostanate, the ANSNCl or any salt containing this name. Trichlorostanates, plural of trichlorostanate. Trichlorophene, alternative form of trichlorophene. Trichlors, plural of trichlor. Tricho, forming words related to hair. Trichodenoma, a benign, solitary, rapidly growing skin lesion ranging from 3 to 15 mm in diameter. Trichodenomas, plural of trichodenoma. Trichobzor, a bezoar composed of hair. Trichobzors, plural of trichobzor. Trichoblast, a hair-like filamentous protrusion from the side of an organism, especially an alga. Trichoblastoma, a blastoma containing benign neoplasms of follicular cells. Trichoblastomas, plural of trichoblastoma. Trichoblasts, plural of trichoblasts. Trichobothria, plural of trichobothrium. Trichobothrio, relating to Trichobothria. Trichobothrium, an elongate external seta present in many arachnids and various orders of insects, including Hemiptera and Thysanoptera. They function in the detection of airborne vibrations and air currents, including near-field sounds of central importance to their hearing and communication. Trichobranchia, the gill of a crustacean in which the branchial filaments are slender and cylindrical, as in the crawfishes. Trichobranchiae, plural of Trichobranchia. Trichoscene, any orchid of the genus Trichocentrum. Trichoscenes, plural of Trichoscene. Trichosphallosis, a form of helminthiasis caused by the whipworm Trichosphalus trichiurus. Tricheshre, any cranefly/daddy longlegs in the family Trichosridae. Trichesrids, plural of Trichosrid. Trichochrome, any of a class of pigments related to melanin and found in human hair. Trichochromes, plural of trichochrome. Trichoclasia, alternative form of trichocloses. Trichocloses, a brittle condition of the hair. Trichocomaceous, of or relating to the Trichocomaceae. Trichocest, a thread-like organ in certain protozoans that can be discharged suddenly in order to grasp or sting. Trichocests, plural of trichocests. Trichocyte, any of the specialized epithelial cells from which hairs grow. Trichocytes, plural of trichocyte. Trichodactyla, any crab in the family Trichodactylidae. Trichodactylids, plural of Trichodactylid. Trichotid, any louse of the family Trichotidea. Trichotids, plural of Trichotid. Trichoderm, any soil fungus of the genus Trichoderma. Trichodermal, alternative form of trichodermic. Trichodermal, with roughly parallel chains of closely packed cells. Trichodermic, relating to trichoderms. Trichodermin, a particular trichothecene with chemical formula CHO4. Trichodermal, a particular fungal sesquiterpene. Trichoderms, plural of trichoderm. Trichodsmy, a hepatotoxic pyrrolizidine alkaloid found in plants of the Trichodsma genus. Trichodiene, the alicyclic sesquiterpene 4's1,4-dimethyl 4,1's 1-methyl-2-methylidienocyclopentyl cyclohexene. Trichodimerol, a pentacyclic alcohol produced by fungi of the genus Trichoderma. Trichotinoid, any ciliate alveolate of the family Trichotinidae. Trichotinids, plural of trichotinin. Trichodiscoma, a cutaneous condition, a benign tumor most often affecting the face and upper trunk. Trichodiscomas, plural of trichodiscoma. Trichodontid, any member of the family Trichodontidae of sandfishes. Trichodontids, plural of trichodontid. Trichodragma, a sheaf or bundle of rhaphides. Trichodragmas, plural of trichodragma. Trichodragmata, plural of trichodragma. Trichodynia, a painful sensation on the scalp, often with an underlying psychosomatic cause. such as stress. Trichodystroia, discoloration of the hair. Trichodysplasia, a disease sometimes found in organ transplant recipients characterized by reddened papules, especially on the face. Trichodysplasias, plural of trichodysplasia. Trichodystrophies, plural of trichodystrophy. Trichodystrophy, the defective growth or development of the hair. Trichopithelioma, a neoplasm of the adnexa of the skin. Trichopitheliomas, plural of trichopithelioma. Trichopitheliomata, plural of trichopithelioma. Trichofolliculoma, a cutaneous condition characterized by a benign, highly structured tumor of the pilosebaceous unit. Trichofolliculomas, plural of trichofolliculoma. Trichoderm, an epidermal cell that grows into a seta. Trichogenesis, the generation and development of hair. Trichogenic, relating to trichogenesis. Trichogenous, promoting the growth of hair. Trichodens, plural of trichogen. Trichogram, a microscopic examination of the root of a hair. Trichogramma, any of the tiny insecti-parasitizing wasps in the genus Trichogramma, which are widely used as for biological control. Trichogrammas, plural of Trichogramma. Trichogramatid, any member of the Trichogrammatidae. Trichogrammatids, plural of Trichogrammatid. Trichogramma, any wasp of the genus Trichogramma. Trichogrammids, plural of Trichogrammid. Trichograms, plural of Trichogram. Trichogyne, the slender, hair-like cell which receives the fertilizing particles or antherozoids in female red seaweeds, lichens, and fungi. Trichogynes, plural of trichogyne. Trichotinio, relating to the trichogyne. Trichogenic, relating to the trichogyne. Trichoalin, a protein in humans that confers mechanical strength on the hair follicles, inner root sheath, and other toughened epithelial tissues, such as the hard palate and filiform ridges of the tongue. Trichoalins, plural of trichoalin. Trichoi, resembling hair-like. Trichomoma, alternative form of trichomoma. Trichomomas, plural of trichomoma. Tricholine, 3 choline groups in a compound. Trichological, relating to trichology. Trichologically, in terms of trichology. Trichologist, a professional who helps people with hair or scalp problems, a practitioner of trichology. Trichologists, plural of trichologists. Trichology, the science or study of hair. Tricholomataceous, of or relating to the Tricholomataceae. Tricholomatoi, describes any mushroom with notched gill attachment, a thick fleshy stem, and lacking an annulus or vulva. Trichoma, ingrown eyelash, trichiasis. Trichomania, a mania for, or passionate interest in, long hair. Trichomaniac, one with a mania or passion for hair. Trichomaniacs, plural of trichomaniac. Trichomenoi, resembling the fern genus Trichomenes. Trichomatos, affected with a disease which causes agglutination and matting together, said of the hair when affected with plica. Trichome, a hair or scale-like extension of the epidermis of a plant. Trichomoly, a congenital condition in which the eyelashes are abnormally long. Trichomeless, lacking trichomes. Trichomes, plural of trichome. Trichomic, relating to trichomes. Trichomics, the study of trichomes. Trichomonicidal, destructive to trichomonads. Trichomonoci, any substance that kills trichomonads. Trichomonicides, plural of trichomonoci. Trichomonad, any of many flagellate protozoans of the genus Trichomonas, most of which are parasitic. Trichomonads, plural of trichomonad. Trichomonal, relating to or caused by the genus Trichomonas of anaerobic protists. Trichomonas, trichomonad. Trichomoniases, plural of trichomoniases. Trichomoniases, a common sexually transmitted disease caused by the parasite Trichomonas vaginalis and infecting the urinary tract or vagina. Trichomonoses, plural of trichomoniasis. Trichomoniasis, alternative form of trichomoniases. Trichomycetes, a group of fungi in the division Zygomycota that grow in the guts of arthropods living in aquatic habitats. Species formerly placed in the Trichomycetes are now placed in the orders Herpalales and Acilariales. Trichomycoses, plural of trichomycosis. Trichomycosis, superficial bacterial colonization of the hair shafts in areas bearing sweat glands. Trichomycterid, any catfish in the family Trichomycteridae. Trichomycterids, plural of Trichomycterid. Trichinidae, any isopod in the family Trichinicidae. Trichinicids, plural of trichinicid. Trichinodoliform, bilaterally symmetrical with lateral processes on each side of the cusps and with a posterior process applied to conodont elements. Trichinodosis, a condition involving knots in the hair. Trichinodae, any fish in the family Trichinotidae. Trichinotids, plural of trichinoid. Trichopathic, relating to disease of the hair. Trichopathophobia, a fear relating to the color, growth, or disorders of hair. Trichopathy, any disease of the hair. Trichophagia, compulsive eating of hair. Trichophile, a person who has trichophilia. Trichophiles, plural of trichophile. Trichophilia, a paraphilia in which one is sexually aroused by or extremely fond of human hair. Trichophobia, a morbid fear of hair or diseases affecting the hair. Trichophore, the special cell in red algae which produces or bears a trichogyne. Trichophores, plural of trichophore. Trichophoric, of or relating to a trichophore. Trichophorus, of or relating to a trichophore. Trichophilous, having finely divided leaves that resemble hair. Trichophyte, any organism of the fungus genus Trichophyton. Trichophytes, plural of trichophyte. Trichovitic, of or pertaining to the genus Trichophyton of fungi responsible for Malabar itch. Trichophyton, any member of the fungus genus Trichophyton. Trichophytons, plural of trichophyton. Trichophytosis, plural of trichophytosis. Trichophytosis, infection with trichophyton fungus. Trichopter, one of the Trichoptera, a Caddi's fly. Trichopteran, any insect of the order Trichoptera. Trichopterans, plural of Trichopteran. Trichopterus, of, pertaining to, or characterizing the Trichoptera. Trichopters, plural of Trichopter. Trichopterygidae. Any beetle in the family Tilidaceae. Trichopterygidae. Trichopterigids, plural of Trichopterygid. Trichoptilosis, Schizotrichia, split ends. Trichord, any set of 3 different pitch classes. Trichording, moving in 3 directions about 3 axes. Trichordo, a trichord 3-stringed old-fashioned bouzouki, a type of chordophone. Trichordos, plural of trichordo. Trichords, plural of trichord. Trichorexis, alternative form of Trichorexis. Trichorhinophalangeal, relating to the hair, nose, and phalanges finger or toe bones, applied to Langer-Giedian syndrome. Trichoiane, that each has its own chorion. Trichoria, the falling out of the hair. Trichorexis, brittleness of the hair. Trichorexis invaginata, a hair shaft abnormality in which there is keratinization of the hair shaft in the keratogenous zone, allowing for intussusception of the fully keratinized and hard distal shaft into the incompletely keratinized and soft proximal portion of the shaft. Trichorexis nodosa, a hair shaft defect characterized by thickening or weak points nodes that cause the hair to break off easily. Trichoria, archaic form of trichoria. Trichosanic acid, punisic acid. Trichosanthin, a ribosome inactivating protein and abortifacient derived from Trichosans kyrilloi. Trichosanthins, plural of trichosanthin. Trichoscalid, hair-like scalid. Trichoscalids, plural of trichoscalid. Trichoschises, trichocloses, especially where the cuticle is locally absent at the site of fracture. Trichospleurae, a hard needle-like branched cell found in some plants, serving as protection from herbivores. Trichospleurids, plural of trichospleurae. Trichoscopy, a method of hair and scalp evaluation based on dermoscopy and videodermoscopy. Trichosyncilla, plural of trichosyncillum. Trichosyncillum, a sensory hair in some beetles, etc. Trichosis, plural of trichosis. Trichotis, any disease or abnormality of the hair. Trichus variaceus, of or relating to the Trichus variaceae. Trichosporin, an antibiotic oligopeptide produced by some fungi. Trichosporinosis, a systemic disease associated with fungi in the genus Trichosporon. Trichosporosis, infection by Trichosporon fungi. Trichostain, misspelling of trichostatin. Trichostatin, any of a family of antifungal antibiotics that are histamine deacetylase inhibitors. Trichostatins, plural of trichostatin. Trichostomatid, any protozoan of the order Trichostomatida. Trichostomatids, plural of trichostomatid. Trichostromyle, any nematode of the genus Trichostromylus. Trichostromyles, plural of trichostromyle. Trichostromyliaceae, infection with Trichostromylus nematodes. Trichostromylid, any nematode of the family Trichostromylidae. Trichostromylids, plural of trichostromylid. Trichostromyloi, any nematode of the superfamily Trichostromyloidea. Trichostromyloids, plural of trichostromyloid. Trichostromylosis, any disease caused by infection with nematodes of the genus Trichostromylus. Trichothalic, having a shoot that ends in one or more multicellular hairs or a tuft of these. Trichothecene, any of many related mycotoxins produced by pathogenic fungi species of the genus Fusarium. Trichothecenes, plural of trichothecene. Trichoiadystrophic, of or pertaining to trichoiadystrophy. Trichoiadystrophies, plural of trichoiadystrophy. Trichoiadystrophy, an autosomal recessive congenital skin disease characterized by a congenital ichthyosiform erythroderma growth and mental retardation, progeria-like facies, and brittle hair. Trichotic, exhibiting or relating to trichosis, hairy. Trichotillomania, a medical disorder where someone compulsively pulls their own hair out. Trichotillomanic, afflicted with trichotillomania. Trichotomic, relating to trichotomy. Trichotomies, plural of trichotomy. Trichotomize, alternative form of trichotomize. Trichotomize, simple past and past participle of trichotomize. Trichotomizes, third person singular simple present indicative of trichotomize. Trichotomizing, present participle and gerund of trichotomize. Trichotomism, the belief that human beings are made up of three distinct components, body or flesh, soul, and spirit. Trichotomist, a person who believes that human beings are made up of three distinct components, body, soul, and spirit. Trichotomists, plural of trichotomists. Trichotomization, division into three parts. Trichotomizations, plural of trichotomization. Trichotomize, to divide into three parts, elements, or classes. Trichotomize, simple past and past participle of trichotomize. Trichotomizes, third person singular simple present indicative of trichotomize. Trichotomizing, present participle and gerund of trichotomize. Trichotomoculpate, having three culpi or grooves. Trichodemus, divided into three parts or into threes, forking three ways. Trichodemously, in a trichotomous manner. Trichotomy, division or separation into three groups or pieces. Tritotrophy, nutrition of a hair. Trichotropid, any sea snail in the family Trichotropidae, a synonym of the Capulidae. Trichotropids, plural of trichotropid. Trichovirus, any plant pathogen virus of the genus Trichovirus. Trichoviruses, plural of trichovirus. Trichroic, of, relating to, or exhibiting trichroism. Trichroism, the property of some optically anisotropic crystals of transmitting different colors of light in three different spatial directions. Trichromacies, plural of trichromacy. Trichromacy, the quality of having three independent channels for conveying color information in the eye. Trichroma, one who has trichromatic vision, one whose vision exhibits trichromacy, one who can distinguish three primary colors. Trichromate, any salt that has three chromate ions. Trichromates, plural of trichromate. Trichromatic, involving three colors. Trichromatically, in a trichromatic way. Trichromatism, the quality, state, or phenomenon of being trichromatic. Trichromatisms, plural of trichromatism. Trichromats, plural of trichromat. Trichrome, trichromatic involving three colors. Trichromes, plural of trichrome. Trichroic, containing three atoms of chromium. Trichromophoric, having three chromophores. Trichrysabactin, a cyclic trimer of chrysabactin. Tide, plural of trich. Trichuriasis, plural of trichuriases. Trichuriasis, a parasitic disease caused by infection of the large intestine by a whipworm. Trichuria, any member of the Trichuridae. Trichurids, plural of Trichurid. Sriti, Tirukchirapalli, a district of Tamil Nadu, India. Shreya, a diminutive of the female given name Patricia. Tysilae, having 3 cilia. Tysilaide, alternative form of triciliate. Tricin, an O-methylated flavone found in rice bran. Tricine, an organic compound used in buffer solutions. Tricing, present participle and gerund of trice. Tricing up, present participle and gerund of trice up. Tricipital, having 3 heads or origins relating to the triceps. Tricircular, consisting of or relating to 3 circles. Triceribine, a cell-permeable tricyclic nucleoside used to treat cancer. Tricistronic, relating to or composed of 3 cistrons. Tricitrite, any compound that contains 3 citrate groups or anions. Tricitrites, plural of tricitrate. Tricity, a metropolitan area of Poland consisting of the 3 cities Gdansk, Gdynia, and Sopot. Tri, something designed to fool, dupe, outsmart, mislead, or swindle. Tricyclist, a psychiatrist. Tricyclists, plural of tricyclists. Trick mode, a feature of digital video systems that mimics the visual feedback given during fast-forward and rewind operations that were provided by analog systems such as VCRs. Trick night, a particular night, commonly the night of the 30th to the 31st of October, during which young people play pranks and do mischief in their neighborhoods. Trick of the light, an optical illusion resulting from low lighting. Trick of the tray, a shortcut or other quick or very effective way of doing things that professional workers learn from experience. Trick off, to decorate something or be decorated with something. Trick or treat, a form of a light-hearted request by which children obtain candy on Halloween while wearing themed costumes. Trick out, to dress or decorate in an especially fancy, elaborate, or excessive manner. Trick play, a play in American football that uses deception and unorthodox strategies to fool the opposing team. Trick plays, plural of trick play. Trick question, a question that attempts to elicit an answer in a certain way, usually incorrectly, i.e. that seems to have an obvious answer that is however incorrect, or a question that does not have a correct answer or that hides the real question or some difficulty. Trick questions, plural of trick question. Trick shot, an unconventional shot of the balls to show off or pot an otherwise impossible ball. Trick shots, plural of trick shot. Trick turner, a person who turns tricks, a prostitute. Trick turners, plural of trick turner. Trick up, to add tricks to a course or hole, including hazards in full golf and barriers in mini golf. Trick up once sleeve, synonym of ace up once sleeve. Trick wig, a kind of wig worn by actors, having hair that can be made to stand on end. Trick wigs, plural of trick wig. Trick or treat, to go door to door requesing candy on Halloween night while wearing a costume. Trick or treat it, Simple past and past participle of trick or treat. Trick or treater. One who goes trick or treating on Halloween, usually a child dressed in a costume. Trick or treaters. Plural of trick or treater. Trick or treating. The practice of going house to house on Halloween evening to receive treats. Trick or treats. Third person singular simple present indicative of trick or treat. Trickable. Capable of being tricked. Trick him. The world or realm of tricks. Trick. Simple past and past participle of trick. Tricked off. Simple past and past participle of trick off. Tricked out. Past participle of trick out. Tricked up. Simple past and past participle of trick up. Tricked out. Alternative spelling of tricked out. Tricked up. Falsely assembled, faked. Tricky. A person who is tricked, a dupe. Trickies. Plural of tricky. Trickin' bag. A type of love charm consisting of a bag containing a mixture of herbs and other magical ingredients. Trickin' bags. Plural of trickin' bag. Treasure. A surname transferred from the nickname. Trickeration. Trickery. Trickerations. Plural of trickeration. Trickeries. Plural of trickery. Traitor. Plural of tricker. Trickery. Deception, deceit, or underhanded behavior. Treges. Superlative form of trick, most trick. Tricka. Third person singular simple present indicative of trick. Trega. A surname. Treckit. Plural of tricket. Treddy. A surname. Treddies. Plural of tricky. Trickful. Full of trickery. Tiddy. Comparative form of tricky, more tricky. Tedious. Superlative form of tricky, most tricky. Trickily. In a tricky manner. Trickiness. The quality of being tricky. Trickiness is plural of trickiness. Tricker. Present participle and gerund of trick. Tricking off. Present participle and gerund of trick off. Tricking out. Present participle and gerund of trick out. Tricking up. Present participle and gerund of trick up. Trickenly. In a tricky or crafty manner. Trickins. Plural of tricking. Triggish. Using tricks or trickery. Trickishly. In a trickish manner. Trickishness. The quality of being tiggish. Trekka. A very thin river. Trickle charge. Keeping a battery fully charged by charging it at a rate equal to its self-discharge rate. Trickle charger. A device for charging a battery slowly using a very small current. Trickle chargers. Plural of trickle charger. Trickle down. To pass from high-ranked people to lower-ranked people. Trickle-down hypothesis. Alternative spelling of trickle-down hypothesis. Trickle truth. Facts gradually and reluctantly admitted by one's significant other under questioning, especially about having been unfaithful. Trickle down. That flows, especially in limited quantity, from the highly placed to others. Trickle-down economics. Alternative form of trickle-down hypothesis. Trickle-down hypothesis. The idea that policies benefiting the wealthy shall ultimately benefit everybody else. Trickle-up trend. A trend in high fashion that originated in street culture. Trickle-up trends. Plural of trickle-up trend. Trickled. Simple past and past participle of trickle. Trickled down. Simple past and past participle of trickle down. Trickle down. Alternative spelling of trickle down. Trickler. An outlet in the microtubing used in drip irrigation. Tricklers. Plural of trickler. Trickles. Plural of trickle. Trickles down. Third person singular simple present indicative of trickle down. Trickle some. Characterized or marked by trickling. Trickless. Without any tricks. Trickle. A little trickle. Trickle. Third person singular simple present indicative of trickle. Tricklet. Plural of tricklet. Trickle. Resembling or characteristic of a trick. Trickle. Present participle and gerund of trickle. Trickling down. Present participle and gerund of trickle down. Tricklingly. In a trickling way. Tricklings. Plural of trickling. Tricklining. A form of slacklining involving tricks and stunts. Trickly. Pouring in trickles. Trigment. Decoration. Ornament. Trigments. Plural of trigment. Trigonologies. Plural of trigonology. Trigonology. Technology used for purposes of trickery. Trickproof. Resistant to trickery. Tricked. Plural of trick. Tricks of the light. Plural of trick of the light. Tricks of the tray. Plural of trick of the trade. Tricks off. Third person singular simple present indicative of trick off. Tricks or treats. Alternative form of trick or treat. Tricks out. Third person singular simple present indicative of trick out. Tricks up. Third person singular simple present indicative of trick up. Tricks up one's sleeve. Plural of trick up one's sleeve. Tricksy. Obsolete form of tricksy. Trickshot. Alternative spelling of trickshot. Trickshots. Plural of trickshot. Tricksical. Synonym of trickish using tricks or trickery. Tedze. Comparative form of tricksy, more tricksy. Tedit. Superlative form of tricksy, most tricksy. Tricksily. In a tricksy way. Tricksiness. The quality or state of being tricksy. Tricksinesses. Plural of tricksiness. Trickso. Characterized by tricks or trickery, cunning, tricksy. Trickster. Any of numerous figures featuring in various mythologies and folk traditions who use guile and secret knowledge to challenge authority and play tricks and pranks on others with their acts of trickery. Any similar figure in literature. Trickster. Simple past and past participle of trickster. Trickster. Present participle and gerund of trickster. Trickster. Like a trickster, cunning, mischievous. Tricksterism. The use of a trickster character in folk literature. Tricksters. Plural of trickster. Trickstress. A female trickster. Trickstresses. Plural of trickstress. Tricksy. Inclined to trickery, sneaky, devious. Trick-track. alternative form of tic-tac kind of backgammon. Trickware, trickery of an artistic or spectacular kind. Pretty, hard to deal with, complicated. Tricky, Richard Nixon. Tricky racket, a type of business or endeavor that is not easy, a domain fraught with difficulty. Tricky rackets, plural of tricky racket. Tricky slave, a fictional character who fits into the archetype of being lower class, being more clever than the other characters, and helping the protagonists. Tricky slaves, plural of tricky slave. Triclabentazo, a benzonidazole anthelmintic, unusual in having a chlorinated benzene ring but no carbamate group, that displays a high efficacy against the liver fluke. Tricla, any of the turbularian flatworms of order Triclidida. Triclidae, any flatworm of the order Triclidida. Triclideds, plural of Triclidid. Triclads, plural of Triclad. Triclavianism, the belief that 3 nails were used in the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Triclavianus, one who believes that 3 nails were used in the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Triclavianists, plural of Triclavianus. Triclizate, an antimuscarinic drug. Triclinate, triclimer. Triclinia, plural of triclinium. Pequidal, of or relating to a triclinium. Triclinear, of pertaining to or using a triclinium or to the ancient mode of reclining while eating. Prequemer, having 3 unequal of pertaining to or using a triclinium or to the ancient mode of reclining while eating. Prequemer, having 3 unequal axes all intersecting at oblique angles. Triclinium, a couch for reclining at mealtimes, extending round 3 sides of a table and usually in 3 parts. Tricliniums, plural of triclinium. Triclocarbon, a chlorinated aromatic derivative of urea, 3,4-chlorophenyl 1,3,4-dichlorophenyl urea, that is added to soap etc. as a fungicide and bactericide. Triclophos, a sedative product used rarely for treating insomnia. Triclini, a topical corticosteroid. Tricloper, a systemic foliar pyridine herbicide used to control broadleaf weeds while leaving grasses and conifers unaffected. Tricosum, a widely used wide-spectrum antibacterial and antifungal agent with molecular formula CH7Cl3O2 which works by disrupting the growth of microbes rather than actively killing them. Triclister, the simultaneous clustering of 3 independent rows or columns of a 3-dimensional matrix. Triclisterings, plural of triclistering. Tricoastal, of or pertaining to 3 coasts. Tricoat, a multilayer paint job giving a pearl appearance. Tricoated, coated on 3 sides. Tricoats, plural of tricoat. Tricobalt, 3 cobalt atoms in a molecule. Tricoccus, having 3 cocci. Tricodon, a group of 3 codons. Tricodons, plural of tricodon. Tricoherence, the condition of 4 waves having the same wavelength and phase. Tricola, plural of tricolon. Tricolette, a knitted fabric of silk or rayon. Tricolettes, plural of tricolette. Tricolon, a sentence with 3 clearly defined parts of equal length, usually independent clauses. Tricolon crescens, a rising tricolon, its parts increasing in magnitude or intensity towards a climax on the 3rd part. Tricolon diminuens, a diminishing tricolon, its parts decreasing in magnitude or intensity. Tricolone, using or relating to the tricolon. Tricolons, plural of tricolon. Tricolor. The French flag. Tricolor shark, synonym of bala shark. Tricolor shark minnow, synonym of bala shark. Tricolor shark minnows, plural of tricolor shark minnow. Tricolor sharks, plural of tricolor shark. Tricolor. Having three colors, tricolor. Tricolorous, tricolor. Tricolor. Tricolors, plural of tricolor. Tricolor. Alternative spelling of tricolor. Tricolor shark. Alternative form of tricolor shark. Tricolor shark minnow. Alternative form of tricolor shark minnow. Tricolor shark minnows. Plural of tricolor shark minnow. Tricolor sharks. Plural of tricolor shark. Tricolor. Alternative spelling of tricolor. Tricolorous. Rare spelling of tricolorous. Tricolors. Plural of tricolor. Tricolpate. Having three grooves or culpi on each grain. Tricolpates. Plural of tricolpate. Tricolporate. Having three culpi and pores. Tricolporidate. Having three culpi. Tricolumnar. Composed of three columns. Tricompartmental. Relating to three compartments typically of the knee. Tricompetence. The state or quality of being tricompetent. Tricompetent. Competent in three languages or in three fields of study. Tricomplex. Three-dimensional and complex. Tricomplex number. The equivalent of a complex number in three dimensions. Tricomplex numbers. Plural of tricomplex number. Tricomplexity. The condition of being tricomplex. Tricomponent. Having three similar components. Tricomponents. Plural of tricomponent. Triconcave. Having three concave surfaces. Triconcepts. Plural of triconcept. Triconnected. Of a connected graph, needing three vertices removed for it to become disconnected. Triconodont. A tooth having three conical cusps. Triconodontid. Any extinct mammal in the family Triconodontidae. Triconodontids. Plural of triconodontid. Triconodonts. Plural of triconodont. Triconodonty. The property of having teeth with three conical cusps. Triconsonantal. Involving three consonants. Triconsonantalism. The property of being triconsonantal. Triconsonantals. Plural of triconsonantal. Triconsonantic. Synonym of triconsonantal. Tricantenote. Any salt or ester of tricantenoic acid. Tricantenotes. Plural of tricantenote. Tricontinental. Spanning or pertaining to three continents, typically either Europe and the Americas or Latin America, Europe and Africa. Tricontinentalism. The condition of being tricontinental. Tricoordinate. Having a coordination number of three. Tricoordinated. Coordinated with three the same or different ligands. Tricover. Three atoms of copper in a compound. Tricopter. A rote or craft propelled by three rotors. Tricopters, plural of tricopter. Tricorder, a fictional futuristic handheld device used for scanning, which may be specialized for medical, technical, or other purposes. Tricorders, plural of tricorder. Tricordia, a 12-stringed variant on the mandolin. Tricordius, plural of tricordia. Tricorn, a 3-sided hat with the brim turned up. Tricorn, alternative spelling of tricorn. Tricorner, tricornered, having 3 corners. Tricornered, that has 3 corners. Tricorns, plural of tricorn. Tricorns, plural of tricorn. Tricornuate, alternative form of tricornute. Tricornute, having 3 horn-like processes. Tricornuted, tricornute. Tricorporal, having 3 bodies, for example like a goddess represented in 3 forms. Tricorporate, represented with 3 bodies conjoined to 1 head. Tricorporated, synonym of tricorporate. Tricorporeal, synonym of tricorporeal, having 3 bodies, involving 3 corpora. Tricortical, connected to 3 cortical plates. Tricorticate, synonym of tricortical. Tricorithid, any mayfly of the family Tricorithidae. Tricosidyene, any unsaturated aliphatic hydrocarbon, CH, that has 23 carbon atoms and 2 double bonds. Tricosidienes, plural of tricosidiene. Tricosahydrate, a hydrate whose solid contains 23 molecules of water of crystallization per molecule or per unit cell. 23 H2O. Tricosahydrates, plural of tricosahydrate. Tricosome, a tricosane derivative, where the following part of the name starts with a vowel. Ending could be L1. Tricosane, any very many of the aliphatic hydrocarbon heavy atoms, but especially at ZCCC. Tricosanes, plural of tricosane. Tricosanote, any salt or ester of tricosanoic acid. Tricosanotes, plural of tricosanote. Tricosanoic, of or pertaining to tricosanoic acid or its derivatives. Tricosanoic acid, the long-chain saturated fatty acid having 23 carbon atoms. Tricosanol, any aliphatic alcohol that has 23 carbon atoms. Tricosine, any of very many isomers of an unsaturated aliphatic hydrocarbon having 23 carbon atoms and 1 double bond. Tricosines, plural of tricosine. Tricostate, having 3 ribs or 3 costi. Tricostatin, misspelling of trichostatin. Tricot, a soft knit fabric. Tricote, a lively old dance. Tricotase, plural of tricote. Tricotus, a woman who knits, used especially of those who knitted at meetings and at executions during the French Revolution. Tricotuses, plural of tricotus. Tricotine, a double twill fabric of tightly twisted yarns. Tricotines, plural of tricotine. Trichotomize, alternative form of trichotomize. Trichotomize, simple past and past participle of trichotomize. Trichotomy, misspelling of trichotomy. Trichots, plural of tricot. Tricotyledon, a plant whose seedling has 3 cotyledons. Tricotyledonous, having 3 cotyledons. Tricotyledons, plural of tricotyledon. Trichome, a kind of metal nail fixed to the soles of shoes or boots to improve their grip. Trichomes, plural of trichome. Tricounty, of or pertaining to 3 counties. Tricope, having a trioxonic crepes. Tricresol, a commercial mixture of the 3 isomers of cresol. Tricreso, three cresol groups in a compound. Tricresyl phosphate, an organophosphate compound derived from cresol and phosphoric acid, chemical formula CHO4P, used as a plasticizer, flame retardant, waterproofer, etc. Tricotyria, plural of tricotyrian. Tricotyria, any of 3 criteria in the same system. Tricritical, describing a condition in condensed matter in which 3 phases are in equilibrium. Tricriticalities, plural of tricriticality. Tricriticality, the condition of being tricritical, a tricritical system. Trichrotic, of or pertaining to trichrotism, characterized by trichrotism. Trichrotism, the condition of the arterial pulse in which there is a triple beat, so that the pulse curve obtained in a sphygmographic tracing shows 2 secondary crests in addition to the primary one. Trichrotis, archaic form of trichrotic. Trichero, having 3 legs. Tricrystal, a semiconductor or similar device incorporating a junction of 3 crystals. Tricrystals, plural of tricrystal. Trichinotomid, any beetle in the family Trichinotomidae. Trichinotomids, plural of trichinotomid. Trichka, alternative form of tic-tac kind of backgammon. Tricube, a polycube composed of 3 cubes. Tricubes, plural of tricube. Tricubic, involving 3 cubic forms. Triculate, to beautify, to pretty. Tricultural, of, relating to, or containing 3 cultures. Triculturalism, the state or quality of being tricultural. Triculture, a state, nation, etc. that contains 3 distinct cultures. Tricultures, plural of triculture. Tricursal, being composed of 3 cancers. Tricurvate, curved in 3 directions. Tricuspal, consisting of or relating to 3 cusps. Tricuspid, having 3 cusps, for example a molar tooth. Tricuspid valve, a heart valve with 3 cusps which prevents backflow of blood from the right ventricle into the right atrium. Tricuspid valves, plural of tricuspid valve. Tricuspidal, alternative form of tricuspid. Tricuspidate, 3-pointed, ending in 3 points. Tricuspidated, alternative form of tricuspidate. Tricuspids, plural of tricuspid. Tricuspoi, that has 3 cusps. Tricuspoid curve, synonym of deltoid curve. Tricuspoid curves, plural of tricuspoid curve. Tricassate, having whorls of 3 leaves each, the leaves of each whorl alternating with those above and below. Trisanide, any compound containing 3 cyanide groups. Tricyanides, plural of tricyanide. Tricyanumethane, cyanoform. Tricyclezo, a particular fungicide. Tricycle, a Cycle with 3 wheels, powered by pedals and usually intended for young children. Tricycles. Simple past and past participle of tricycle. Tricycle-like. Resembling or characteristic of a tricycle. Tricycline. The tricyclic hydrocarbon 177-trimethyltricyclo 2.2.1.026 heptane. Tricycler. A tricyclist. Tricyclers. Plural of tricycler. Tricycles. Plural of tricycle. Tricyclic. Having 3 rings of atoms in the molecule. Tricyclics. Plural of tricyclic. Tricycling. Present participle and gerund of tricycle. Tricyclists. A person who rides a tricycle. Tricyclists. Plural of tricyclists. Tricyclo. Describing a molecular structure having 3 rings either fused or having a common bridgehead atom. Tricyclobutabenzene. A tetracyclic aromatic hydrocarbon composed of 3 cyclobutane rings fused to a central benzene. Tricyclohexylammonium. The cation formed by replacing 3 hydrogen atoms of an ammonium cation with cyclohexyl groups. Tricycline. Any of a group of cyclotides found in the plant Viola tricolor. Tricyclohexyhumulone. An oxidized humulone produced during the storage of hops. Tricyclohexyhumulones. Plural of tricyclohexyhumulone. Tricycloquinacylene. A bicyclic aromatic compound with 3 fused rings. Tricylinder. A solid formed by 3 intersecting cylinders. Tricylinders. Plural of tricylinder. Tricylindric. Alternative form of tricylindrical. Tricylindrical. Of or relating to 3 cylinders. Tridacna. Any member of the genus Tridacna of large saltwater clams with heavy fluted shells. Tridacnus. Plural of Tridacna. Tridacnae. Any clam in the family Tridacnidae, now considered to be the cardiid subfamily Tridacninae. Tridacnids. Plural of Tridacnid. Tridacnine. Any giant clam of the subfamily Tridacninae. Tridacnines. Plural of Tridacnine. Tridactyle. Having 3 digits on a limb. Tridactyle. Alternative form of tridactyle. Tridactylid. Any pygmy mole cricket in the family Tridactylidae. Tridactylids. Plural of tridactylid. Tridactylus. Tridactyle. Tridactyles. Plural of tridactyle. Tridactyly. The property of being tridactyle, having 3 digits fingers or toes on a limb. Tridely. 3 times a day or every 3rd day. Tritharn. A kind of cupboard or dresser with 3 tiers. Tridarns. Plural of tridarn. Tri. Strong and swift. Tridec. Alternative form of trideca used before a vowel. Trideca. 13. Tridecacopper. 13 atoms of copper in a chemical compound Cu. Tridecagon. A polygon having 13 sides and 13 angles. Tridecagonal. Having 13 sides and angles similar to a tridecagon. Tridecagons. Plural of tridecagon. Tridecagram. A star polygon that has 13 vertices. Tridecagrams. Plural of tridecagram. Tridecahedron. A polyhedron with 13 faces. Tridecahydrate. A hydrate whose solid contains 13 molecules of water of crystallization per molecule or per unit cell. 13H2O. Tridecahydrates, plural of tridecahydrate. Tridecamanganese, 13 atoms of manganese in a chemical compound Mn. Tridecamer, an oligomer having 13 subunits. Tridecameric, of or pertaining to a tridecamer. Tridecamers, plural of tridecamer. Tridecanol, the saturated aliphatic aldehyde that has 13 carbon atoms CH-CHO. Tridecane, a very many isomeric citrate aliphatic carbohydrates having 13 carbon atoms, but especially aromatic ZCCH3. Tridecanes, plural of tridecane. Tridecanoate, any salt or ester of tridecanoic acid. Tridecanotes, plural of tridecanoate. Tridecanoic, of or pertaining to tridecanoic acid or its derivatives. Tridecanoic acid, the saturated fatty acid having 13 carbon atoms. Tridecanon, any aliphatic ketone formerly derived from tridecane containing 13 carbon atoms. Tridecanons, plural of tridecanon. Tridecaic psi, any oxide containing 13 atoms of oxygen per molecule O. Tridecaic sides, plural of tridecaic psi. Tridecaptide, any oligopeptide having 13 amino acid residues. Tridecaptides, plural of tridecaptide. Tridecaphobia, alternative form of triskaidekaphobia. Tridecaploid, having 13 complete sets of chromosomes in a single cell. Tridecasaccharide, an oligosaccharide composed of 13 monosaccharide groups. Tridecasaccharides, plural of tridecasaccharide. Tridecasodium, 13 atoms of sodium in a chemical compound Na. Tridecasyllabic, having 13 syllables or 13 syllables per line. Tridecenary, of or pertaining to the number 13. Tridecimal, of a number expressed in base 13. Tridecyl, the univalent radical derived from tridecane. Tridecylic, relating to the fatty acid that has 13 carbon atoms. Tridecyls, plural of tridecyl. Tride, alternative form of tride. Trides, plural of tride. Tridegree, the condition of being cubic. Tridelt, alternative spelling of tridelt. Tridelt, alternative spelling of tridelt. Tridelts, plural of tridelt. Tridelts, plural of tridelt. Tritum, an arrangement of 3 objects arranged one behind the other. Tridemic, synonym of triplodemic, a combination of 3 pandemics. Tridemics, plural of tridemic. Tridemism, the 3 principles of the people. Tridomorph, a particular fungicide. Tridoms, plural of tridom. Tridinchonia, any pseudoscorpion in the family Tridinchoniidae. Tridinchoniids, plural of Tridinchoniidae. Tridentiform, composed of 3 trees. Trident, the nuclear weapon that is the nuclear deterrent of the United Kingdom. Trident bat, any of species Acellia tridens of bats. Trident bats, plural of trident bat. Trident boar, an oral examination deciding whether to accept a candidate as a seal. Tridental, having 3 prongs or tines. Tridentate, having 3 teeth. Tridentated, having 3 teeth. Tridentate. Trident, having 3 prongs. Tridentiferous, bearing a trident. Tridentine, relating to Trent, Italy. Tridentine Mass, synonym of traditional Latin Mass form of the Mass General before the Second Vatican Council. Tridentine Masses, plural of Tridentine Mass. Tridentines, plural of Tridentine. Trident-like, resembling a trident, having 3 prongs. Tridentoi, having 3 teeth. Tridents, plural of trident. Tedia, a 3-dimensional video. Teios, plural of tidio. Tedias univere. Edialid univere, composed of idios univeres. Tedias univeres, plural of tedias univere. Tidiax cerebos. Atridios univere is of dias ubos. Tridiax cerebos is, plural of tridiax cerebos. Tridipsi, trimeric dipsi. Tridipsides, plural of tridipsi. Tridermic, relating to the 3 germ layers of the embryo, ectoderm, endoderm, and mesoderm. Tridesmicidic, pertaining to a saponin with 3 sugar chains. Trideuria, a molecule composed of 3 deuterium atoms, or matter composed of such molecules, symbol 2H3 or D3. Tridevi, a trinity of supreme divinity in Hinduism. Tridiagonal, having non-zero elements only in the main diagonal and the diagonals directly above and below it. Tridiagonality, the condition of a matrix of B tridiagonal. Tridiagonalization, the formation of a tridiagonal matrix. Tridiagonalizations, plural of tridiagonalization. Tridelpto, capable of using 3 dialects of a language. Tridelptalism, the use of 3 dialects of a language. Tridiapason, a triple octave or 22nd. Tridigital, 3-fingered. Tridigitate, having 3 fingers or finger-like projections. Tridihexethyl, a chemical compound whose chloride is used as an anticholinergic, antimuscarinic, and antispasmodic drug. Tridem, synonym of tridio, a 3-dimensional video. Tridimensional, 3-dimensional. Tridimensionality, the quality of being tridimensional. Tridimensionally, in 3 dimensions. Tridiminish, having had 3 cupulae removed. Tridems, plural of tridem. Triding, alternative form of trithing. Tridings, plural of triding. Tridirectional, in or relating to 3 directions. Tridirectionally, in 3 directions. Trianno, or relating to 3 days. Tridominium, a tripartite condominium, joint sovereignty over territory, one involving 3 sovereign powers. Tridominiums, plural of tridominium. Triopt, doped with 3 different elements. Tridoping, doping with 3 different elements. Tridrechum, alternative form of tridrechma. Tridrachma, an ancient Greek silver coin worth 3 drachmas. Tridrachmas, plural of tridrachma. Tridrachms, plural of tridrachm. Trido, plural of triduum. Tridoan, lasting 3 days. Triduans, plural of triduan. Triduum, a period of 3 days, especially in Roman Catholic liturgy. Triduum plural of triduum. Tridymite, a rare mineral of volcanic rocks that solidified at a high temperature with a chemical composition silicon dioxide, CO2. Tridymite is chemically identical to quartz, but has a different crystal structure. Sometimes contains sodium aluminum silicate, which seems to be expelled when quartz solidifies at lower temperatures. Tridymites, plural of tridymite. Tri, an ordered tree data structure that is used to store an associative array where the keys are usually strings. Tribal Lisworkin space, a generalization of many standard function spaces such as L-letter 1D56 spaces and Sobolev spaces. Tribal Lisworkin spaces, plural of tribal Lisworkin space. Trias, alternative spelling of Trioceus. Trice, alternative form of Triose. Tri, tested, hence proven to be firm or reliable. Tried and tested, synonym of tried and true. Tried and true, well established and tested, known to work or succeed based on extensive experience. Tried and trusted, known from experience to be reliable and trustworthy. Tried for size, simple past and past participle of try for size. Tried it on, simple past and past participle of try it on. Tried on, simple past and past participle of try on. Tried on for size, simple past and past participle of try on for size. Tried one's hand, simple past and past participle of try one's hand. Tried one's luck, simple past and past participle of try one's luck. Tried out, simple past and past participle of try out. Tried titles, simple past and past participle of try titles. Tridra, dated form of trihedral. Tridst, second person singular simple past indicative of tri. Tricosmine, the triglyceride of eicosanoic acid. Trying, misspelling of trying. Tria, an element from group 13 of the periodic table which includes boron, aluminium, gallium, indium, and thallium. Trilektronic, of or pertaining to 3 electrons. Trielemental, having 3 different elements in various senses. Trials, plural of trial. Tri, any alkene that has 3 double bonds. Trines, plural of trine. Tria, plural of trinium. Tridel, happening every 3 years. Trinelwe, occurring at intervals 3 years apart. Tridels, plural of trinial. Trinium, a period of 3 years. Triniums, plural of trinium. Trinour, describing a carboxylic acid, especially a polyunsaturated fatty acid that has 3 double bonds in its chain. Trines, a bronze coin minted during the Roman Republic valued at 4 uncia. Trites, plural of trines. Trinetine, triethyltetramine dihydrochloride, an oral copper chelating agent used to treat Wilson's disease. Tripoxy, any compound that has 3 epoxide rings. Tripoxides, plural of tripoxy. Trier, a city in Rhineland-Palatinate, Germany, on the banks of the Moselle River. Trier of fact, a person or group of people given the responsibility of determining the facts of a case from evidence presented in a legal proceeding. Trier, the captain of a trireme. Triarchal, relating to triarchs or triarchy. Triarche, relating to a triarch or triarchy. Triarchies, plural of triarchy. Triarchs, plural of triarch. Triarchy, a system in ancient Greece whereby triremes were commanded and maintained by citizens known as triarchs. Triers, alternative form of trier. Triers of fact, plural of trier of fact. Trirucate, any compound, especially a glyceride containing 3 erucate groups. Trirucates, plural of trirucate. Tries, plural of tri. Tries for size, third person singular simple present indicative of try for size. Tries it on, third person singular simple present indicative of try it on. Tries on, third person singular simple present indicative of try on. Tries on for size, third person singular simple present indicative of try on for size. Tries one's hand, third person singular simple present indicative of try one's hand. Tries one's luck, third person singular simple present indicative of try one's luck. Try out, third person singular simple present indicative of try out. Tries titles, third person singular simple present indicative of try titles. Trysenberg, a municipality of Liechtenstein. Tries, second person singular simple present indicative of try. Tries, a province of the Friuli Venezia Giulia Autonomous Region, Italy. Triester, any compound containing 3 ester groups, but especially a triglyceride. Tristers, plural of trister. Trieste, of, from, or relating to the city of Trieste, Friuli Venezia Giulia, Italy. Tristani, plural of Tristino. Tristino, a native or inhabitant of the city of Trieste, Friuli Venezia Giulia, Italy. Tristinos, plural of Tristino. Triterical, triennial, occurring once in 3 years. Tri, third person singular simple present indicative of try. Triethanolamine, the tertiary amine H2ZH derived from ethanolamine. Triethioide, any compound containing 3 ethiodide groups. Trithioides, plural of trithiodide. Trithoxy, 3 ethoxy groups in a compound. Trithoxysilane, the cellulose H2ZH. Trithoxyvinylsilane, synonym of vinyl triethoxysilane. Trithyl, 3 ethyl groups in a compound. Triethylaluminium, a volatile organometallic compound Al-C2H or Al2Et used in various chemical processes and as an igniter for jet and rocket engines. Triethylaluminum, alternative form of triethylaluminium. Triethylamine, the tertiary amine ZH and heavy many uses. Triethylamine plural of triethylamine. Triethylammonium, the univalent cation obtained by protonation of triethylamine. Trithylborane, an organometallic compound formula BC2H or Et3B used in various chemical processes and as an igniter for jet and rocket engines. Trithylboron, synonym of trithylborane BC2H or Et3B. Trithylene, 3 ethylene groups in a molecule. Trialdehyde, the chemical compound 1,4-diazabacyclo-2.2.2 used as a catalyst, especially in making polyurethanes. Trialdehyde, plural of trithylnedyamine. Trithylnemelamine, a particular drug used in chemotherapy. Trithylnetetramine, an oily liquid used as a cross-linker in epoxy curing and in treating Wilson's disease. Trithylvalium, the organometallic compound CH3CHGA used in vapor phase epitaxy for the manufacture of semiconductors. Trithylsilane, the organometallic Trithylsilyl, a chemical functional group consisting of 3 ethyl groups attached to a silicon atom with structural formula CH3CHC. Trio, a surname from Chinese. Triuchao, alternative form of diachir. Trias, plural of triu. A surname from French. Trixatin, a quantum combination of 3 excitins. Trixatonic, of or pertaining to trixatins. Trixatins, plural of trixatin. Trixponential, having 3 summed exponential terms. Trixponentially, in a trixponential manner. Trifaceted, having 3 facets. Trifacial, trigeminal. Trifacials, plural of trifacial. Trifactor, involving 3 factors. Trifactorial, of or pertaining to 3 factors. Trifalo, to plow land the 3rd time before sowing. Trifalo, simple past and past participle of trifalo. Trifaloing, present participle and gerund of trifalo. Trifalos, 3rd person singular simple present indicative of trifalo. Trifon, a set of triangles connected at a single point. Trifons, plural of trifon. Trifarious, facing 3 ways, arranged in 3 vertical ranks like the leaves of veratrum. Trifasciated, having or surrounded by 3 fasciae or bands. Trifascicular, relating to 3 fascicles, especially those of the heart. Trif, a trivial matter or matters. Trifecta, a bet in which the bettor must select the first 3 place-getters of a race in the order in which they finish. Trifectas, plural of trifecta. Trifazala, a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug. Terrific, wonderful. Terrific, pronunciation, spelling of terrific. Terrificals, of considerable difficulty. Terrific, a fictional plant, able to move around and kill people with a poisonous stinger. Trifid-like, alternative form of trifid-like. Trifidian, resembling or relating to triffids, a fictional plant able to move around and kill people with a poisonous stinger. Trifid-like, resembling or relating to triffids, a fictional plant able to move around and kill people with a poisonous stinger. Triffids, plural of trifid. Trifid, divided into three lobes. Trifid cipher, a classical cipher that extends the earlier bifid cipher with the use of trigrams. Trifidly, in a trifid manner. Trifilar, having three wires, threads, or filaments. Triphi, of insect wings, three-veined. Triflagellate, having three flagella. Triflagellated, having three flagella. Triflate, any salt or ester of trifluoroethane sulfonic acid. Triflates, plural of triflate. Triflation, reaction with triflic acid to form a triflate. Trifluven, a particular disintegrin. Trifle, an English dessert made from a mixture of thick custard, fruit, sponge cake, jelly, and whipped cream. Triflewe, detoywe. Trifles, simple past and past participle of trifle. Trifledwe, simple past and past participle of triflewe. Trifor, one who trifles or treats something as inconsequential. Triflers, plural of trifler. Trifles, plural of trifle. Trifles with. Third person singular simple present indicative of trifle with. Trifleist. Second person singular simple present indicative of trifle. Triflet. A petty trifle, something unimportant. Triflet. Third person singular simple present indicative of trifle. Triflets. Plural of triflet. Trifluic. Related to trifluoroethane sulfonic acid or its derivatives. Triflic acid. Trifluoroethane sulfonic acid. Triflic acids. Plural of triflic acid. Triflamide. The strong brusted acid CF3SONH. Trifling. Trivial or of little importance. Trifling with. Present participle and gerund of trifle with. Triflingly. In a trifling manner. Triflingness. The state or quality of being trifling. Triflings. Plural of trifling. Triflacin. A diuretic drug. Trifluoral. Trifluorous. Trifluorite. Trifluorous. Triflorous. Having or bearing three flowers or blooms. Trifloxystrobin. A particular strobilurine fungicide. Triflubazem. A benzodiazepine drug with sedative and anxiolytic effects. Triflumesopirim. A mesoionic insecticide 4-oxo-1-pyrimidine 5-L-methyl-3, 3-trifluorompyl-phenylpyrido-1,2-pyrimidine 1-ium-2-olate used to treat rice. Triflumidate. A non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug. Triflumizole. A particular fungicide. Triflumirin. A particular benzoylurea insecticide. Trifluomeprazine. A sedative and hypnotic drug. Trifluoprazine. An antipsychotic drug of the phenethiazine group. Trifluoprazines. Plural of trifluoprazine. Trifluoroacetate. Alternative form of trifluoroacetate. Trifluoroacetates. Plural of trifluoroacetate. Trifluoroacetic. Alternative form of trifluoroacetic. Trifluoramine. Nitrogen trifluoride. Trifluoride. Any chloride containing 3 fluorine atoms in each molecule. Trifluorides. Plural of trifluoride. Trifluoro. 3 fluorine atoms in a molecule. Trifluorocetamide, the amide of trifluoroacetic acid CF3CN2. Trifluoroacetate, any salt or ester of trifluoroacetic acid. Trifluoroacetates, plural of trifluoroacetate. Trifluoroacetic, the univalent radical derived from acetic by replacing every hydrogen atom with one of fluorine. Trifluoroacetic acid, a strong carboxylic acid used frequently in organic synthesis and as a buffer in liquid chromatography with the molecular formula C2H5O2. Trifluoroacetoxy, any trifluoroderivative of an acetoxy group. Trifluoroacetoxylation, the addition reaction of a trifluoroacetoxy group. Trifluoroacetoxylations, plural of trifluoroacetoxylation. Trifluoroacetoxys, plural of trifluoroacetoxy. Trifluoroborate, any ion of general formula RBF, any salt containing such an anion. Trifluoroborates, plural of trifluoroborate. Trifluoroethane, either of two isomeric fluorocarbons derived from ethane by replacing three hydrogen atoms by fluorine. Trifluoroethane peroxoic acid, synonym of trifluoropracetic acid. Trifluoroethanes, plural of trifluoroethane. Trifluoroethanol, any of several isomers of an alcohol formerly derived from ethanol by replacing three hydrogen atoms by those of fluorine, but especially 2,2,2-trifluoroethanol. Trifluoroethanols, plural of trifluoroethanol. Trifluoroethyl, a trifluoroderivative of an ethyl radical, but especially CF3CH. Trifluoroethylamine, any trifluoroderivative of ethylamine. Trifluoroethylamines, plural of trifluoroethylamine. Trifluoroiatomethane, a halomethane with the chemical formula CF3I. Trifluoromethane, synonym of methyl fluoride. Trifluoromethane sulfonate, triflate. Trifluoromethane sulfonates, plural of trifluoromethane sulfonate. Trifluoromethane sulfonic, trifluc. Trifluoromethane sulfonic acid, the very strong sulfonic acid CF3SO3H that is used in organic synthesis where it is known as triflic acid. Trifluoromethane sulfonyl azide, an organic azide used as a reagent in organic synthesis, usually prepared by reacting trifluoromethane sulfonic anhydride with sodium azide. Trifluoromthoxy, the univalent radical CF3O derived from methoxy. Trifluoromthiol, the univalent radical CF derived from methyl. Trifluoromthylaminoidane, a psychoactive drug and serotonin-releasing agent. Trifluoromethylaniline, an aromatic amine, CF3C6H4NH2, used in the production of the herbicide fluontran. Trifluoromethylanilenes, plural of trifluoromethylaniline. Trifluoromethylate, to modify by means of trifluoromethylation. Trifluoromethalated, simple past and past participle of trifluoromethylate. Trifluoromethylates, third person singular simple present indicative of trifluoromethylase. Trifluoromethylating, present participle and gerund of trifluoromethylate. Trifluoromethylation, the addition of a trifluoromethyl group to a molecule. Trifluoromethylations, plural of trifluoromethylation. Trifluoromethylative, that promotes trifluoromethylation. Trifluoromethylbendoate, a salt or ester of trifluoromethylbenzoic acid. Trifluoromethyl benzoates. Plural of trifluoromethyl benzoate. Trifluoromethyl phenyl. Any of three isomeric trifluoromethyl derivatives of the phenyl radical. Trifluoromethyl phenylpiperazine. A particular piperazine-based drug used recreationally, but not medicinally. Trifluoromethyl phenols. Plural of trifluoromethyl phenyl. Trifluoromethiols. Plural of trifluorompyl. Trifluoropracetic acid. The peroxyacid analog of trifluoroacetic acid. Trifluorophenyl. Any trifluoroderivative of a phenyl radical. Trifluoropropyl. Any trifluoroderivative of a propyl radical. Trifluoropropyls. Plural of trifluoropropyl. Trifluorothymidine. A trifluoroderivative of a thymidine, but especially any of the trifluoridine drugs. Trifluorothymidines. Plural of trifluorothymidine. Trifluperidol. An antipsychotic drug. Triflupromazine. A phenothiazine antipsychotic with a high risk of side effects. Trifluoralin. A fluorinated derivative of dinitroaniline, 2,6-dinitro-N-endopropyl 4-trifluoromethylanilene, used as a herbicide. Trifluoralins. Plural of trifluoralin. Trifluoridine. An anti-herpesvirus drug used primarily on the eye. Trifluzel. A platelet aggregation inhibitor. Trifluvian. A resident of Three Rivers Trois Rivières or its surrounding county. Trifluvians. Plural of trifluvian. Trifluvian. A resident of Three Rivers Trois Rivières or its surrounding county. Trifluvian. Female equivalent of trifluvian. Trifluvians. Plural of trifluvian. Trifluvians. Plural of trifluvian. Triflux. A type of heat exchanger with a three-stage reheat system. Trifluxes. Plural of triflux. Trivial. Trifluoromethane sulfonyl. Triflyl azide. Trifluoromethane sulfonyl azide. Trifocal. Of or pertaining to corrective lenses that have three different powers per eye. Trifocalization. The division of the Philippine education system into three distinct levels of governance and management by the Department of Education for Basic Education, TESDA for Technical Vocational Education and Training, and CHED for Higher Education. Trifocals. Spectacles with corrective lenses that have three different powers per eye. Trifoil. Archaic form of trefoil. Trifoils. Plural of trifoil. Trifold. Threefold. Trifolds. Plural of trifold. Trifolia. Plural of trifolium. Trifoliate. Having or comprising three leaves, or loosely trifoliate with three leaflets or having leaves with three parts, as the clover plant. Trifoliate orange. A shrub, Citrus trifoliata, mostly grown as a rootstock for other citrus. Trifoliate oranges. Plural of trifoliate orange. Trifoliated. Having three leaves or leaflets, trifoliate. Trifoliately. In a trifoliate manner. Trifoliates. Plural of trifoliate. Trifolies. Plural of trifoly. Trifolin. A chemical compound, the chemferol 3-galactoside, found in Camptotheca acuminata, Euphorbia candilocarpa, and Consolida oliveriana. Trifoliales. Having three leaflets, as some compound leaves do. Trifoliately. In a trifoliate manner. Trifoliates. plural of trifoliolate. Trifluoricin, a pterocarpan found in Sophoroflacins. Trifoliticin, a particular bacteriacin produced by the bacterium Rhizobium leguminosarum biova trifoliae. Trifolium, any of the genus Trifolium of clovers and trefoils. Trifoliums, plural of trifolium. Trifollicular, having or involving 3 follicles. Trifoli, melilot, sweet clover. Trifers, a shape composed of 3 equilateral triangles arranged in such a manner that a 4th triangle of identical size, but pointing the opposite direction, could fit between them. Trifirsts, simple past and past participle of trifors. Trifirses, plural of triforce. Triforsing, present participle and gerund of trifors. Triforia, plural of triforium. Trifory, a particular fungicide. Triforium, the gallery of arches above the side aisle vaulting in the nave of a church. Triforiums, plural of triforium. Triform, having 3 different forms. Triformed, having a 3-fold form. Triformin, glycerin triformate, the triester of glycerol and formic acid. Triformity, the state of being triform or having 3 different shapes. Triformol, synonym of paraformaldehyde. Triformous, triform, having 3 forms. Trifrequency, involving 3 frequencies. Trifunctional, having 3 functions. Trifunctionalism, the stratification of society into 3 areas: warfare, that which is sacred or sovereign, and agriculture and fertility. Trifunctionality, the state of being trifunctional. Trifunctionalize, to make trifunctional. Trifunctionalize, simple past and past participle of trifunctionalize. Trifunctionally, in a trifunctional way. Trifurin, a compound containing 3 furin rings. Trifurins, plural of trifurin. Trifurcate, forked with 3 tines or points. Trifurcated, simple past and past participle of trifurcate. Trifurcates, 3rd person singular simple present indicative of trifurcate. Trifurcating, present participle and gerund of trifurcate. Trifurcation, a division into 3 branches. Trifurcations, plural of trifurcation. Trusty, trustworthy, faithful. Trig identity, a trigonometric identity. Trig pillar, a triangulation pillar. Trig pillars, plural of trig pillar. Trig point, a fixed pillar with a metal housing for a theodolite on the top of a high point in the landscape, originally used for making ordnance survey maps. Trig points, plural of trig point. Trig, abbreviation of trigonometry. Triga, acronym of training, research, isotopes, General Atomics, a type of nuclear reactor originally made by General Atomics. Triga, a 3-horse chariot used by the ancient Romans. Trigi, plural of triga. Trigalactose, 3 galactose entities in a single molecule. Trigalactosylated, modified by the addition of 3 galactose entities. Trigallium, 3 atoms of gallium in a chemical compound. Trigamies, plural of trigamy. Trigamous, A person who has three spouses, someone who commits trigamy. Trigamous, plural of trigamous. Trigamma function, the second of the polygamma functions after the digamma function. Trigamma functions, plural of trigamma function. Trigamous, living in or involving trigamy. Trigamy, the state of having three legal or illegal spouses simultaneously. Trigarta, an ancient kingdom in the northern part of the Indian subcontinent, founded and ruled by the Katak dynasty. Trigus, plural of triga. Trigastric, having three bellies. Trigate, having three electronic gates. Trigatron, a kind of triggerable spark gap switch designed for high current and high voltage. Trigatrons, plural of trigatron. Trigeminal, of or pertaining to the trigeminal nerve, the fifth cranial nerve. Trigeminal ganglia, plural of trigeminal ganglion. Trigeminal ganglion, a large flattened sensory root ganglion of the trigeminal nerve that lies within the skull and behind the orbit. Trigeminal nerve, each of the fifth and largest pair of cranial nerves responsible for sensation and motor function in the face and mouth. Trigeminal nerves, plural of trigeminal nerve. Trigeminal neuralgia, a neuropathic disorder of one or both of trigeminal nerves leading to intense pain in parts of the face. Trigeminalgia, synonym of trigeminal neuralgia. Trigeminality, a sensation of the trigeminal nerve. Trigeminally, in a trigeminal way. Trigeminals, plural of trigeminal. Trigemini, plural of trigeminous. Trigeminis, plural of trigemini. Trigemino-parasympathetic. Trigeminal and parasympathetic. Trigeminocardiac, relating to the trigeminal nerve and the heart. Trigeminocerebellar, of, pertaining to or connecting the trigeminal nerve and the cerebral cortex. Trigeminocervical, relating to the trigeminal nerve and the cervix. Trigeminofacial, relating to the trigeminal nerve and the face. Trigeminoepithalamic, relating to the trigeminal nerve and the hypothalamus. Trigeminoarticular, trigeminal reticular. Trigeminospinal, trigeminal and spinal. Trigeminothalamic, trigeminal and thalamic. Trigeminous, born three together, being one of three born at the same birth. Trigeminovascular, relating to the trigeminal nerve and blood vessels. Trigeminous, alternative form of trigeminal nerve. Trigeminy, a kind of cardiac arrhythmia where premature ventricular contractions occur at intervals of 2 normal beats to 1 contraction. Trigender, having or pertaining to three genders. Trigeneration, the simultaneous production of mechanical power often converted to electricity, heat, and cooling from a single heat source such as fuel or solar energy. Trigenerational, relating to 3 generations. Trigenerative, relating to trigeneration. Trigeneric, of or relating to 3 genera. Trigenic, produced by the interaction of 3 genes. Trigenic acid, an acid C4H7N3O2 obtained by the action of cyanic acid vapor on cold aldehyde. Trigenome, derived from 3 genetically similar organisms. Trigenous, involving groups of 3, arranged in threes. Triger process, A method of sinking through water-bearing ground in which the shaft is lined with tubbing and provided with an airlock, work being proceeded with under air pressure. Trigesimo. 30th. Trigesimo secundo. A paper size 3.755 times 2.53.125. 1/32 of a standard uncut flat sheet. Trigesimo secundos. Plural of trigesimo secundo. Trigevalol. A beta-adrenergic blocking drug. A surname. Trigg County. One of 120 counties in Kentucky, United States. County seat, Cadiz. Trigger. Pronunciation spelling of trigger. Tre. Simple past and past participle of treg. Trigger. A finger-operated lever used to fire a gun. Trigger finger. A finger used in pulling the trigger of a firearm. Trigger fingers. Plural of trigger finger. Trigger flower. Synonym of trigger plant. Trigger flowers. Plural of trigger flower. Trigger guard. A thin loop surrounding the trigger of a weapon to keep it from accidental discharge. Trigger guards. Plural of trigger guard. Trigger happy. Alternative form of trigger happy. Trigger law. A law which is not active until a particular event comes to pass, converting the inactive law into an active law on the books. Trigger laws. Plural of trigger law. Trigger man. Alternative form of triggerman. Trigger man. Plural of trigger man. Trigger plant. Alternative form of trigger plant. Trigger plants. Plural of trigger plant. Trigger point. An event, arrangement, provocation, etc. that leads a certain, generally violent or angered action to be taken. Trigger points. Plural of trigger point. Trigger pricing. A pricing strategy in which a company sets the price of a product relative to an index value, with a time frame in which buyers can purchase the product for this price if the index-based price reaches an acceptable level. Usually, the seller sets a minimum order size to qualify for the trigger price. Trigger warning. A notice placed before the beginning of media content, usually an online article, email, or post to warn of potential traumatic triggers it contains. Trigger warnings. Plural of trigger warning. Trigger's broom. An object that has had all of its components replaced. A ship of Theseus. Trigger happiness. The quality of being trigger happy. Trigger happy. Having a tendency or desire to shoot a firearm irresponsibly before adequately identifying the target. Triggerable. That may be triggered. Trigger. Having a trigger that reacts to some specific condition. Triggerer. One who or that which triggers. Triggerers. Plural of triggerer. Triggerfish. Any of several brightly colored fish of the family Ballistidae that inhabit tropical reefs and have an erectile spine on the dorsal fin. Triggerfishes. Plural of triggerfish. Trigger happy. Alternative form of trigger happy. Trigger. Present participle and gerund of trigger. Triggering sequence. A sequence of events that culminates in the detonation of explosives. Triggering sequences. Plural of triggering sequence. Triggerings. Plural of triggering. Triggerish. Likely to be triggered or set off. Triggerless. Without a trigger. Triggerlike. Resembling or characterizing Characteristic of a trigger. Triggerman. A hired gunman, a hitman. Triggerman. Plural of triggerman. Trigonometry. The theory and study of firearms and shooting. Trigger people. Plural of triggerperson. Triggerperson. A triggerman or triggerwoman. Triggerpersons. Plural of triggerperson. Triggerplant. Any flowering plant of the genus Stylidium. Triggers. Plural of trigger. Triggerwoman. A female gunman. Triggerwomen. Plural of triggerwoman. Trigger. Easily triggered, tending to go off very frequently. Tredius. Superlative form of trig, most trig. Tridding. Present participle and gerund of trig. Trado. A surname. Tradus. A surname. Traduses. Plural of trigs. Tigilio. A surname. Trigenteduonian. A 32-dimensional hypercomplex number that is a non-associative extension of a sedenian. Trigenteduonianic. Of or pertaining to a trigenteduonian. Trigenteduonians. Plural of trigenteduonian. Trigental. A trental various senses. Trigentals. Plural of trigental. Trigentennial. Synonym of tricennial, once every 30 years. Trigentilian. 10-3. Triglandular. Having or relating to 3 glands. Triglet. Any fish in the family Triglidae. Triglids. Plural of triglet. Tridoi. Resembling the fish genus Trigla. Triglassa. The coexistence of 3 closely related native languages or dialects among a certain population. Triglossic. Of or relating to Triglossia. Tridot. A trilingual person. Tridots. Plural of trigloss. Triglothic. In or relating to 3 languages. Triglucoside. Any compound that contains 3 glucoside groups. Triglucosides. Plural of triglucoside. Triglucosylated. Glycosylated with 3 molecules of glucose. Triglucuronide. Any compound that contains 3 glucuronide groups. Triglucuronides. Plural of triglucuronide. Trigluon. Of or relating to 3 gluons. Triglutamate. Any salt or ester that has 3 glutamate ions or groups. Triglutamates. Plural of triglutamate. Trigly. Trithylene glycol dichloride. Triglyceride. Archaic form of triglyceride. Triglyceridemia. Alternative spelling of triglyceridemia. Triglyceride. A lipid, an ester of glycerol and 3 fatty acids, the same or different, the major constituent of animal and vegetable fats. Triglyceridemia. The presence of triglycerides in the blood. Triglyceridemias. Plural of triglyceridemia. Triglyceridemic. Relating to triglyceridemia. Triglycerides. Plural of triglyceride. Triglycerids. Plural of triglyceride. Triglycerol. The condensation product of 3 molecules of glycerol 3,3,2,3-dihydroxypropoxy 2-hydroxypropoxy propane 1,2-diol. Triglycine. An oligopeptide consisting of 3 glycine moieties. Triglycoside. Any glycoside containing 3 sugar groups. Triglycosides. Plural of triglycoside. Triglycosylated. Glycosylated with 3 sugar moieties. Trigly. The dimethyl ether of triethylene glycol. Triglyph. A vertically channeled tablet of the Doric frieze. Triglyphs. Having the form of a triglyph. Triglyphic. Consisting of or relating to triglyphs. Triglyphical. Synonym of triglyphic. Triglyphs. Plural of triglyph. Trigness. The quality or state of being trig, smartness, neatness. Trigo. A surname. Trigophonoside. A particular steroid glycoside. Trigold. 3 gold atoms in a compound. Trigonometric. Non-standard form of trigonometric. Trigon. A triangle. Trigona. Plural of trigonon. Trigonal. Having 3 angles and 3 sides, triangular. Trigonalid. Any wasp in the family Trigonalidae. Trigonalids. Plural of trigonalid. Trigonally. In a trigonal manner. Trigon. A smooth triangular area on the inner surface of the bladder, bounded by the apertures of the ureters and urethra, a similar region of a mitral valve. Trigonelline. An alkaloid product of the metabolism of niacin, found in many plants including fenugreek Trigonellophonum graecum. Trigonellicide. A particular steroid glycoside. Trigonase a particular steroid glycoside. Tridons. Plural of trigon. Trigonoaceous. Or relating to the Trigonoaceae. Trigone. Relating to a trigon or triangle. Trigona. The shearing end of a tribosphenic molar. Trigonids. Plural of trigonid. Tridonid. Any clam in the family Trigonidae. Tridonids. Plural of trigonid. Trigonite. A monoclinic thematic mineral containing arsenic, hydrogen, lead, manganese, and oxygen. Trigonitis. Inflammation of the trigon region of the bladder. Trigonocephalic. Of or relating to trigonocephaly. Trigonocephalies. Plural of trigonocephaly. Trigonocephaly. A congenital condition of premature fusion of the metopic suture leading to a triangular-shaped forehead. Trigonotulomidid. Any slug in the family Trigonotulumidae. Trigonotulomidids. Plural of Trigonotulomidid. Trigonodite. Tritubercular. Trigonometer. An instrument for solving plane right-angled figures by inspection. Trigonometers. Plural of trigonometer. Trigonometric. Of. Relating to or constructed using trigonometry. Trigonometric cofunction. Either of a pair of trigonometric functions that have equal values when their arguments are complementary angles, for example sine and cosine. Trigonometric cofunctions. Plural of trigonometric cofunction. Trigonometric function. Any function of an angle expressible as the ratio of 2 of the sides of a right triangle that has that angle, for example sine, or that subtracts 1 from such a ratio or subtracts such a ratio from 1, for example covers sine. Trigonometric functions. Plural of trigonometric function. Trigonometric identities. Plural of trigonometric identity. Trigonometric identity. A trigonometric equation that is true for all values of the nth variable for which both sides of the equation are defined. Trigonometric series. Any series of the form 1/2ao plus display style some sine n cos nx plus bn sin nx. Trigonometrical. Of, pertaining to, or obtained using trigonometry. Trigonometrical station. Synonym of triangulation pillar. Trigonometrical stations. Plural of trigonometrical station. Trigonometrically. By means of, or in terms of, trigonometry. Trigonometrician. A mathematician who uses trigonometry. Trigonometricians. Plural of trigonometrician. Trigonometrics. Trigonometry. Trigonometries. Plural of trigonometry. Trigonometrist. One who does trigonometry. Trigonometrists. Plural of trigonometrists. Trigonometry. The branch of mathematics that deals with the relationships between the sides and angles of in particular right-angled triangles as represented by the trigonometric functions, and with calculations based on said relationships. Trigonon. A small triangular harp. Trigonons. Plural of trigonon. Trigonotarbid. A group of extinct arachnids ordered Trigonotarbida of the late Silurian and early Permian periods, resembling spiders but without silk-producing spinnerets. Trigonotarbids. Plural of trigonotarbid. Trigonous. Trigonal, triangular. Trigonously. In a trigonous manner. Trigons. Plural of trigon. Trigonum. Synonym of os trigonum, an accessory bone of the foot. Trigos. Plural of trigo. Trigpoint. Alternative form of trigpoint. Trigpointing. The recreational activity of searching for trigpoints. Trigpoints. Plural of trigpoint. Trigraph. A trigraph, a sequence of three letters representing one phoneme. Trigrammatic, containing three letters or characters, or three sets of letters or characters. Trigrammic, archaic form of trigrammatic. Trigrams, plural of trigram. Trigraph, a specific sequence of three letters, especially one used collectively to represent a single phoneme. Trigraphic, of or relating to a trigraph. Trigraphs, plural of trigraph. Trignus, plural of trig. Trigutulate, having three gutules. Tribal, a surname. Trigenous, having three pistils or styles. Trihalide, any halide or organohalide having three halogen atoms. Trihalides, plural of trihalide. Trihalogenomethane, any compound formerly derived from methane by replacing three hydrogen atoms with halogens, especially any haloform. Trihalogenomethane, plural of trihalogenomethane. Trihalomethane, any of many halogenated derivatives of methane containing three not always the same halogen atoms. Many are environmental pollutants. Trihalomethanes, plural of trihalomethane. Triharmonic, describing a class of sixth-order partial differential equations which arises in areas of continuum mechanics. Trihedra, plural of trihedron. Triederal, having three plane faces that meet at a common point. Triederon, a geometric figure composed of three planes meeting at a single vertex. Triederons, plural of trihedron. Trihelical, relating to or composed of three helices. Trihelices, plural of trihelix. Trihelium, a molecule composed of three helium atoms or matter composed of such molecules. Symbol, He3. Trihelix, any of a family of transcription factors found in Arabidopsis and other organisms. Triheme, three heme groups in a hemoprotein. Triaptatecano, any compound containing three heptacanoate groups, but especially such a triglyceride. Triaptatecanoine, the triglyceride of heptacanoic acid. Triaptanoine, the triglyceride of heptanoic acid. Triateromer, a trimer composed of three different monomers. Triateromeric, having or relating to three different types of subunit. Triheteromers, plural of triheteromer. Trihex, a polyhex composed of three hexagons. Trihexagonal, pertaining to a semiregular tiling of the Euclidean plane with two triangles and two hexagons alternating on each vertex. Triaxis, plural of trihex. Triexos, any trisaccharide derived from three hexose moieties. Triexoses, plural of trihexose. Trihexosidase, any enzyme that catalyzes the breakdown of a trihexoside, and often, more specifically, alpha-galactosidase ceramide trihexosidase, a deficiency of which allows globotriaosyl ceramide trihexoside to accumulate in the tissues of people with Fabry disease. Trihexosidases, plural of trihexosidase. Trihexoside, any glycoside derived from a trihexose. Trihexosides, plural of trihexoside. Trihexosyl ceramide, any glycosphingolipid derived from a trihexose. Trihexosyl ceramides, plural of trihexosyl ceramide. Trihexyphenidyl, an antimuscarinic drug that has an antispasmodic action on smooth muscle and is used to treat Parkinsonism and some other movement disorders. Triolase, having three apertures like some grains of pollen. Triholomorphic, trijective and holomorphic. Triural, occurring once in every 3 hours. Triaoid, 3 times an hour. Trihybrid, a hybrid whose parents differ by 3 pairs of contrasting Mendelian characters. Trihybrids, plural of trihybrid. Trihydrate, a hydrate whose solid contains 3 molecules of water of crystallization per molecule or per unit cell. Trihydrated, combined with 3 molecules of water. Trihydrates, plural of trihydrate. Trihydrate, having 3 hydroxy groups. Trihydride, any hydride containing 3 atoms of hydrogen per molecule. Trihydrides, plural of trihydri. Trihydro, 3 hydrogen atoms. Trihydrochloride, any compound containing 3 hydrochloride groups. Trihydrochlorides, plural of trihydrochloride. Trihydrofluoride, any compound having 3 hydrofluoride moieties. Trihydrofluorides, plural of trihydrofluoride. Trihydrogen, a cation triangular molecule composed of 3 hydrogen atoms or matter composed of such molecules. Symbol, H. Trihydrogens, plural of trihydrogen. Trihydroxy, 3 hydroxy groups in a molecule. Trihydroxyanthraquinone, Any of several isomeric organic compounds with formula CH8O5, formally derived from anthraquinone by replacing 3 hydrogen atoms by hydroxyl groups and including several historically important dyes. Trihydroxyanthraquinones, plural of trihydroxyanthraquinone. Trihydroxybenzene, any trihydroxy derivative of benzene. Trihydroxybenzenes, plural of trihydroxybenzene. Trihydroxybenzoate, any salt or ester of a trihydroxybenzoic acid. Trihydroxybenzoates, plural of trihydroxybenzoate. Trihydroxybenzoic, relating to trihydroxybenzoic acids. Trihydroxybenzoic acid, any of the trihydroxy derivatives of benzoic acid. Trihydroxycholesterol, any trihydroxy derivative of cholesterol, but especially 3-beta-cholest 5-ene 1,1,2,3-tetrol. Trihydroxycholesterols, plural of trihydroxycholesterol. Trihydroxylated, modified by the addition of 3 hydroxyl groups. Trihydroxylation, hydroxylation at 3 sites in a molecule. Trihydroxylations, plural of trihydroxylation. Trihydroxymethylanthraquinone, any trihydroxy methyl derivative of anthraquinone, but especially 6-methyl-1,3-H-trihydroxyanthraquinone imodin. Trihydroxymethylanthraquinones, plural of trihydroxymethylanthraquinone. Trihydroxystilbene, resveratrol. Triiodothyronine, misspelling of triiodothyronine. Triindole, any compound that has 3 indole rings. Triindoles, plural of triindole. Tiade, any compound containing a moiety consisting of 3 iodine atoms in a more or less linear configuration. Tiades, plural of tiade. Tiodination, the addition of 3 atoms of iodine to a compound. Tiodo, 3 iodine atoms in a molecule. Triadomethane, iodophane. Tioidophenol, any tiodo derivative of phenol. Tiodophenols, plural of triiodophenol. Triiodothyronine, alternative form of triiodothyronine. Triiodothyronine, the most powerful thyroid hormone affecting almost every process in the body, including body temperature, growth, and heart rate. Triiodothyronines, plural of triiodothyronine. Triiridium, 3 atoms of iridium in a chemical compound. Triisobutylsilane, a silane that has 3 isobutyl groups. Triisodontid, any extinct mammal in the family Triisodontidae. Triisodontids, plural of triisodontid. Trisopropyl, 3 isopropyl groups attached to the same atom or group in a molecule. Trisopropyl silane, the silane CH used as a scavenger in peptide synthesis. Trisopropyl silyloxycarbonyl leucomethylene blue, a blue dye formed by the reaction of leucomethylene blue with trisopropyl triphoromethane sulfonate. Trijective, relating to a trijection. Trijet, an aircraft powered by 3 jet engines. Tridets, plural of trijet. Trijugate, in 3 pairs. Trijugas, trijugate. Trijunction, a junction where 3 things meet. Trijunctions, plural of trijunction. Trikala, a city in Thessaly, Greece. Tricalcellite, a hexagonal pyramidal colorless mineral containing aluminum, oxygen, potassium, silicon, and sodium. Trichiete, having 3 nuclei. Tricato, a digestive stimulant consisting of equal parts ginger root, black pepper, and long pepper. Trikaya, a fundamental doctrine within Mahayana and Vajrayana Buddhism that delineates the multidimensional nature of a Buddha's existence in 3 distinct bodies or aspects. Tri, an endearing diminutive name given to an individual triceratops. Trite, simple past and past participle of trike. Triker, synonym of tricyclist. Taiguya, plural of Taiguyan. Taiguya, alternative form of Tricerian. Trikers, plural of triker. Trikes, plural of trike. Triketi, any compound containing 3 ketide groups. Triketides, plural of triketi. Triketone, any ketone having 3 carbonyl groups. Triketones, plural of triketone. Triking, present participle and gerund of trike. Trigini, a swimsuit comprising 3 separate pieces of fabric, typically bottoms and 1 for each breast. Trichinas, plural of trichini. Tricher, synonym of tricherion. Trigerion, a liturgical candlestick holding 3 candles used in the Eastern Orthodox and Eastern Catholic churches. Trikonasana, a pose in which the legs are kept straight and wide apart in the shape of a triangle while the upper body bends. Tre, abbreviation of Trillion. Trileo, a 3-pronged surgical instrument for removing calculi from the bladder. Trilease, 3-lift. Trilaciclib, a medication used to reduce the frequency of chemotherapy-induced bone marrow suppression. Trilactone, any compound that contains 3 lactone groups. Trilactones, plural of trilactone. Trilacunar, having or relating to 3 lacuni. Trilamellar, having 3 lamellae. Trilaminar, formed of or having 3 laminae or thin plates. Trilaminate, having 3 layers. Trilaryngealism, a school of thought that argues that the reconstruction of Proto-Indo-European requires 3 laryngeal consonants, usually marked as and. Trilateral, having 3 sides. Trilaterality, the state or condition of being trilateral. Trilateralization, the process of trilateralizing. Trilateralize, to make or become trilateral. Trilateralize, simple past and past participle of trilateralize. Trilateralizes. 3rd person singular simple present indicative of trilateralize. Trilateralizing, present participle and gerund of trilateralize. Trilaterally, in a trilateral way. Trilateralness, the quality of being trilateral. Trilaterate, to locate by means of trilateration. Trilateration, the determination of the location of a point based on its distance from 3 other points. Triliterations, plural of triliteration. Trilorin, the triglyceride of lauric acid. Trilorylamine, an amine with 3 lauryl radicals used primarily as an extractant. Trilayer, any structure consisting of 3 layers. Trilayer, having 3 layers. Trilayers, plural of trilayer. Trilby, wearing a trilby. Trilbys, Plural of trilby. Trilby. Narrow-brimmed type of felt hat, described as having a shorter brim which is angled down at the front and slightly turned up at the back in comparison to the fedora. Trilbomania. Enthusiasm for George du Maurier's 1894 novel Trilby. Trilbies. Plural of trilby. Trilemma. A circumstance in which a choice must be made between three options that seem equally undesirable. Trilemmas. Plural of trilemma. Trilemmatic. Of or relating to a trilemma. Trile. A common trade name of trichloroethylene in anesthesia, often dyed blue. Trileptin. Any particle formed from three leptins. Trileptins. Plural of trileptin. Triler. Abbreviation of trilinear interpolation. Trilert. Simple past and past participle of triler. Trilerping. Present participle and gerund of triler. Trilerps. Plural of triler. Trilete. Having three lines indicating the splitting axis. Trilevel. Of three levels. Trilineage. Affecting all three blood cell lineages: red cells, white cells, and platelets. Trilineages. Plural of trilineage. Trilinear. Having or bounded by three lines. Trilinear polarity. A correspondence between the points in the plane of a triangle not lying on the sides of the triangle and lines in the plane of the triangle not passing through the vertices of the triangle. Trilinearities. Plural of trilinearity. Trilinearity. The condition of being trilinear. Trilinearly. In a trilinear manner. Trilinears. Plural of trilinear. Trilinear. Synonym of trilinear. Trilingual. Able to read or speak three languages. Trilingualism. The condition of being trilingual, the ability to speak three languages. Trilingualist. A trilingual person. Trilingualists. Plural of trilingualists. Trilingually. In a trilingual manner, in or with three languages. Trilinguals. Plural of trilingual. Trilinguar. Trilingual. Trilinguist. One who speaks three languages. Trilinguists. Plural of trilinguists. Trilinolate. Any compound, typically a triglyceride that has three linolate groups. Trilinolates. Plural of trilinolate. Trilinoling. The triglyceride of linoleic acid. Trilinolinate. Any compound, typically a triglyceride that has three linolenate groups. Trilinolmin. The triglyceride of linoleic acid. Triliteracy. The capability of reading and writing in three languages. Triliteral. Of word roots in Afroasiatic languages consisting of three letters. Triliteralism. The quality of being triliteral. Triliterality. The quality of being triliteral. Triliteralness. Triliterality. Triliterals. Plural of triliteral. Triliterate. Capable of reading and writing in three languages. Trilith. A trilithin. Trilitha. Plural of trilithin. Trilithe. Pertaining to a trilithin. Trilithianite. A monoclinic prismatic white mineral containing aluminum, fluorine, lithium, oxygen, potassium, and silicon. Trilithium. Three lithium atoms in a molecule. Trilithin. A structure consisting of stone pillars supporting a horizontal stone. Trilithons. Plural of trilithon. Triliths. Plural of trilith. Hele. A town in Croatia. Tre. A rapid alternation between an indicated note and the one above it as an ornament, in musical notation usually indicated with the letters TR written above the staff. Pel. Simple past and past participle of trill. Poetao. Pertaining to an age or duration of 3,000 years. Trillinacea. A particular steroid glycoside. Triller. A small passerine bird of the genus Lalage, belonging to the cuckoo shrike family Campophagidae, so called because of the loud trilling calls of the male birds. Trailers. Plural of trailer. Trellis. Second person singular simple present indicative of trill. Trilli. Plural of trillo. Toleas. Of or relating to the Trilliaceae. Trilliant. A gemstone cut in a triangular shape. Trillions. Plural of trilliant. Pillar. 1,000 long scale trillions, or 1 short scale sextillion, equal to 10 to 1 followed by 21 zeros. Pillars. Plural of tillier. Trillibot. Tripe meat product. Trillibuds. Plural of trillibo. Trilla. A particular steroid glycoside. Trille. A surname. Trillinley. With a trilling sound. Trillings. Plural of trilling. Trillion. A million times a million. 1 followed by 12 zeros, 10 to. Trillionaire. Somebody whose wealth is at least 1 trillion 10 to currency units. Trillionaires.